comic program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wolfie. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, in the Rose Bowl game on New Year's Day, Illinois scalped the Stanford Indians. So now we bring you a man who could use one of those scalps, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Don, you can stop vibrating because that was the worst toupee joke I ever heard. Not only that, but it was in very bad taste.
Bad taste?
Yes, I don't mind for myself, but it so happens that the Stanford coach, Chuck Taylor, really wears a toupee.
Now, wait a minute, Jack. I talked to Chuck Taylor right before the game. He's 31 years old, and he definitely has his own hair.
That was before the game. But when Illinois scored their first touchdown, his hair started to go. By the end of the third period, it was piling up on the ground, and all through that fourth quarter, it just laid there and turned gray. But, Don, that was really some game, wasn't it?
It certainly was. And, Jack, I heard you were sitting right on the 50-yard line. How'd you get such a good seat?
Well, Don, it wasn't easy. You see, even though I've lived in California for the past 15 years, I was born in Waukegan. So in order to get tickets, I called Governor Stevenson of Illinois.
Oh, and he got you the tickets?
Well, no. You see, he couldn't do anything for me personally, so he called Governor Warren of California.
Well, it was nice of Governor Warren to give you the tickets.
Well, he couldn't do anything for me either, so he called Mr. McMillan, the city manager of Pasadena, who got in touch with Nancy Thorne, the queen of the Tournament of Roses.
Oh, the queen got you the tickets.
Ticket? Well, not exactly.
Well, then how'd you get in?
I was the third princess on her right. I not only saw the game, but tonight I've got a date with the Stanford Center. You know, the way he raved over my blue eyes, I didn't have the heart to tell him. Don, who were you rooting for at the game?
Well, Jack, I didn't want to show any partiality, so I got a seat on the Stanford side and a seat on the Illinois side.
Don, how could you possibly sit on both sides of the... Oh, of course. And, Don, weren't you disappointed when you weren't picked as the winning float?
I would have won, but I was sabotaged.
Oh, yes. Well, better luck next year. You know?
Hiya, Dante.
Well, hello, Phil.
Hello, Phil. Don and I were just discussing the Rose Bowl game. Were you there?
No, not this year.
Well, you must have watched it on television.
I started to, Jackson, but I turned it off.
Phil, how could you turn it off? It was a wonderful game.
I know, but I just couldn't take it.
What do you mean?
Look, Jackson, it's New Year's Day. I'm laying there with my eyes bloodshot, an ice bag on my head, the room spinning, and some character keeps yelling, "Look sharp, feel sharp, beat."
Phil.
If I'd have had anything sharp, I'd have cut my throat.
All right, Phil. You've celebrated, you had your fun. Now it's time to work. The least you could have done is to see that all your boys showed up.
What are you talking about? The band's here.
Where's Remley, Sammy, and Bagby? Your hoodlum section is missing.
Hoodlum section? Now, hold it, Jackson. I don't think it's very nice the way you go on week after week insulting those three boys. They may not be college graduates, but they come from good families. They're sensitive, refined, and perfect gentlemen. And it's your fault that they're not here today.
My fault?
Yeah, if you'd have paid me more money, I could have bailed them out.
Phil, they're in jail? What for?
Crossing the street in the middle of the block.
Now, wait a minute, Phil. They can give you a ticket, but they can't put you in jail for walking across the street.
On their hands and knees?
Oh, well, that's different. All right, Phil, I'll give you the money. Call up and get the boys out.
Okay, thanks. Hand me that phone.
Imagine crossing on their hands and knees. Hello?
Hello, is this the Lincoln Heights jail?
Well, Phil Harris, how are you?
Oh, fine, Captain, fine. Look, I called up about 3 of my boys. They're on the county again.
Which one?
The 3 with the tire marks on their backs.
Oh, those. I already released them.
Well, what about the bail?
I charged it to your account.
Oh, good. I thought I was overdrawn.
By the way, Phil,
Hey, Phil, would you send someone down to pick up their belongings?
Their belongings?
Yeah, when we arrested them, one of them was carrying a piano.
I know it. One bottle opener, and they got to nail it to the Steinway. I'll see you later, Captain.
All right, so long, Phil.
Hey, it's all set, Jackson. They'll be back next week, and I just hope that you'll treat them a little nicer.
Oh, I will, Phil. I will. Who knows? Maybe that... Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack.
Well, you're here. Now, where's Dennis?
I don't know. He hasn't come in yet.
Well, how can we go on with the show if the cast doesn't get here on time?
Oh, Jack, don't be mad at Dennis. I happen to know something that you don't know.
Well, don't tell me. Let me guess. It's about Dennis, huh? I know. He's running for president.
Besides that,
What?
Jack, this is something you won't believe.
All right, what is it?
Well, all of a sudden, Dennis got a big crush on me.
Dennis has a crush on you?
Yeah. Ever since last week when I danced with him at Charlie Foy's nightclub, he's been sending me notes and little gifts.
Dennis has been sending you gifts? What did he give you?
Oh, a lot of things. His Boy Scout knife, a bag of marbles,
No.
3 bottle caps, a ball of tinfoil, a fish hook, and a dead frog.
Mary, you mean Dennis gave you all those... Mary, what's that you're wearing on your leg?
His bicycle clip. We're engaged.
Well, isn't that cute? So Dennis thinks he's in love with you, huh?
Yes, and Jack, do me a favor, will you? When he comes in, don't kid him, because he's so serious about... Oh, shh! Here he comes down.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Don.
Hi, kid.
Hello, Phil.
Hello, Dennis. Dennis, I said hello.
Mary, don't make it so obvious.
Obvious. All I said was hello.
I know, but look at how you're trembling.
Dennis, you're imagining things. She's not trembling.
What are you trying to do, break us up?
No, I'm not trying to break you up.
Say, Mary, come here a minute, will you? I want to look at you.
Oh, all right, Dennis.
Gee. Gosh.
Well, what is it, Dennis?
To think that you'll soon be my wife and Babe will be my brother-in-law.
That's nowheres on this page. It's better than what we had written there. I know that. Now, look, Dennis, I don't want to break up your romance, but for 2 weeks now, I've been anxious to see Death of a Salesman. So do you mind if I ask your fiancée, Miss Livingston, to go with me tonight?
Hey, you're wasting your time, kid.
Oh, I am, eh? What about, Mary? Would you like to see Death of a Salesman?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jack, but I already saw it.
With whom?
Dennis.
Oh.
I'll go with you, Mr. Benny.
But you saw it with Mary.
Who looked at the pictures?
Dennis, do me a favor. Will you go ahead and sing your song?
Oh, okay.
That was Charmaine, sung by Dennis Dayan. Very good, Dennis.
Thanks.
And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Oh, Mr. Benny, I want to congratulate you.
Congratulate me?
Yes, Radio and Television Daily took a poll, and you were voted Radio's Man of the Year.
Well, thank you, Dennis.
Don't thank me. I voted for somebody else.
All right, now behave yourself. And now, ladies and gentlemen... For our feature attraction tonight, we're going to present a sketch based on one of radio's most popular dramatic shows, Suspense. Now, in this sketch, I will play the part of... Oh, darn it. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, I was just starting my sketch. What do you want?
I thought you might like to know. A friend of yours from Waukegan just phoned from the Union Station.
A friend of mine?
His name is Cliff Gordon.
Cliff Gordon? Why, Rochester, he's one of my best friends. We grew up together.
He said you and he were born in the same hospital on the very same day.
That's right, Rochester. How did he sound?
Well,
Well, what?
either you're over 39 or we had a very bad connection.
Never mind. Anyway, that's Cliff for you. The minute he gets in, he calls me. I hope you told him he can stay in the guest room.
Yeah, but he said he was going to the Biltmore.
But, Rochester, we have the extra room. Why didn't he stay with us?
I guess it was my fault, boss.
What do you mean, your fault?
At first I didn't know he was your friend. I quoted him tourist rates.
Oh, yeah. Mike DeSalle set them for us. Well, Rochester, when did Mr. Gordon say he was coming over to visit me?
Tonight about 8 o'clock.
Oh, darn it, and I wanted to see Death of a Salesman. Oh, well, I can see you some other time. Goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss,
Now what?
they just brought back your Maxwell.
Good, but why did it take so long?
Well, it took 4 days to take off the roses and 2 days to drive it back from Pasadena.
All that trouble and no prizes. Well, so long, Rochester.
Goodbye.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I started to say, for our feature attraction tonight, we're going to present our version of one of radio's most popular shows, Suspense. Set the scene, Don.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we will usher in the 1952 season by presenting a sketch fraught with drama and excitement, and well calculated to keep you in suspense.
My name is Aristotle Fink. It's an ordinary name. And I'm an ordinary guy. Until last week, I was a teller at the California Bank in Glendale. But now, I'm a teller at the California Bank in Beverly Hills. No, I wasn't promoted. The rain just changed our location. I live in a small cottage with my wife, Mary, and our 21 children. The reason I had 21 children is because at one time I hated my wife and wanted to lose her in the crowd. But since then, we were serenely happy until that fateful day that changed my humdrum life into a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense. That eventful morning started like any other. I had just finished my breakfast and turned to my wife and said, "It was a wonderful breakfast, dear, but I must leave you now and go to work."
I'll be waiting for you, darling.
"I can't wait to return. I'll be counting the hours."
I'll be counting the children.
Good. That reminds me, you better wake Philip up. I don't want him to be late for school.
Oh, here he is now. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, Mother. Good morning, Dad.
Something always happened to me when he called me Dad. But I take a little bicarbonate and feel better. I had a few minutes before going to work, so I decided to have a fatherly talk with Philip. "Philip, have you given any thought to the future?"
Yes, I have, Dad.
Good. What do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to lead an orchestra.
Oh, so you want to be a musician?
No, I just want to lead an orchestra.
But, Philip, leading an orchestra would be a waste of your talent. You are a great student. You are an educated fellow. You are a Phi Beta Kappa.
I are?
That's right, son, you am. And you're destined for greater things than...
Here's your school books and your lunch, Philip.
Thank you, Mother. Did you prepare something nice for lunch?
Yes, 2 chicken sandwiches, an apple, a banana, and your thermos bottle is filled with milk.
Milk?
Yes, milk! This is a sketch! Now hurry, or you'll be late for school.
Goodbye, Mother. Goodbye, Dad. And I do mean Dad.
All of my children left for school, and it was such a beautiful day that I decided to walk to the bank. In fact, as I walked along, with the sun shining in my face, my heart was so filled with joy. I arrived at the bank, and this day was like all the others, with one exception. A man came to my window. A man who was destined to change my life story from a peaceful one to a tale well calculated to keep you in... I didn't say it yet! To keep you in suspense. Watch it, fellas. This man came up to my window and thrust a bill at me. It was a genuine $10,000 bill. I looked at him for a moment, then looked back at his $10,000 bill when he said,
Say, I'd like to change this.
But this is a $10,000 bill.
I know, it's the smallest I got.
Okay, I'll change it. Would you like to change in $1,000 bills, hundreds, 50s, 20s, 10s, or 5s?
I want it in pennies.
You want $10,000 in pennies? Why?
I got 500 piggy banks for Christmas.
I complied with his request. Also sorry that I gave him that joke. I gave him $10,000 worth of pennies, which he put in his pocket. And my eyes followed him as he walked out, leaving his pants behind. I then stared at the bill and realized that I, Aristotle Fink, held this treasure in my hand. Suddenly, a harmless thought struck me. My family had never seen a $10,000 bill, and it wouldn't hurt anyone if I took it home and showed it to them. As I entered my house, my wife was standing in the hall.
Hello, darling.
Oh, quick, come in. Shut the door.
All right, darling. Now, I want to show...
Don't talk. Help me close the windows.
They're closed now. Darling...
Wait. Help me open the airwick.
Airwick? What's the matter?
The shrimp boats are coming.
That's not important now. Darling, I have a surprise for you.
For me too, Dad?
Yes, for you too, Philip.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Philip. Must you always go around with your pants dragging?
I can't help it, Mother. I don't have a belt or anything to keep them up with.
Why, Philip, to hear you talk, a person would think I don't make enough money to keep you in suspenders.
I said suspenders! Stupid hoodlum! Section?
What's the surprise, dear?
Something I want you all to see. Philip is here. Call the rest of the children.
Okay. Sam, Peggy, Hilda, Milton, George, Ada Marie, Ellen, John, Hillard, Jeanette, Bonnie, Jean, Stephen, Terry, Harriet, Albert, Julius, Crenshaw, Pico, and Sepulveda.
All of our children got along well, except Pico and Sepulveda. They kept crossing each other. Suddenly the door opened, and the children ran in. When I was a young man, I never dreamed that I, Aristotle Fink, would ever have so many children.
The children all here, darling. Now tell them about your surprise.
Okay. Now listen, you little Fink. I want to show you this. It's a $10,000 bill. Here, take it. Philip, why aren't you looking at the $10,000 bill?
That don't mean nothing to me. I've seen them before.
You have?
Yeah, there's a little blonde in my class named Alice who's loaded with them.
No. All right, children, give me back the bill. Children.
Somewhere on the tour, through the hands of my children, the $10,000 bill disappeared. I looked for the money all that night, but couldn't find it. And the following morning, when I went to work, the president of the bank sent for me. I walked into the office of this very rich man. He was sitting at his desk playing tiddlywinks with silver tiddly. I looked at him timidly and said...
You sent for me, sir?
Yes. Do you know that $10,000 is missing from your accounts?
Yes, sir.
Did you take it?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that was nice?
No, sir.
Well, watch it next time.
But I didn't steal it, sir. I only took it home to show it to my wife and kids.
I know you didn't mean to steal it, but it's out of my hands now. There's a police inspector outside. Miss Jones, send the inspector in.
Suddenly the door opened, and the policeman walked in carrying a pair of handcuffs. He walked over to us and said...
Okay, put these on, Fatso.
Not me. He's the guilty one.
Oh, are you a Fink?
Yes.
What's your name?
You just said it, a Fink.
Well, what do you think, Fink? You're going to the clink?
Oh, no, I'm not. Come one step nearer, and I'll stab you.
Look out, he's got a knife.
Don't be a fool. Put down that knife.
Oh, yeah? Take that.
Get away from me. Don't come near me with that knife. I haven't done anything.
Oh, yes, you have. And I'm going to stab you, too. Take that.
I didn't shoot them, folks. I stabbed them.
But the sound man is still sore at me on account of the lousy Christmas present I gave him. And that is my story. Now I'm in my cell in the state prison awaiting my execution tomorrow night. But in the cell next to me is a traveling man named Frederick, who was convicted of killing his wife by hitting her over the head with his sample case. In a few hours, Frederick walks his last mile to the electric chair. Oh, it's small consolation. But before I go, I'll finally get to see Frederick march in Death of a Sailor. A picture well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Good night, folks.
This is the CBS Radio Network. Program starring Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go out to Jack Benny's home in Beverly Hills. It's morning, and Jack has just finished his breakfast.
Did you have enough to eat, boys?
Oh, yes, plenty. Quiet, Polly. Rochester, this breakfast was wonderful. The coffee was delicious.
Thank you.
The bacon was cooked just the way I like it.
Thank you.
And the eggs were absolutely perfect.
Oh, say, boys, you told me to remind you to call Mrs. Montgomery.
Oh, yes.
Who's that?
Oh, that's Dinah Shore. She's married to George Montgomery. I sent a copy of my song over to her house. I'm going to let her be the first one to record it. I'll call her now. When you say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you. When you ask me to forgive you, I'll return. Like the swallows at Serrano. Hello? Oh, I'd like to speak to Miss Dinah Shore, please. Jack Benny calling. Like the swallows at Serrano, return to Capistrano. For you, my heart. Hello, Dinah? Oh, this is Jack Benny. How's George? Oh, I'm sorry I woke you up, but I was anxious to know something, Dinah. Did you receive the copy of my song? Good. Look, don't you think it's the most wonderful tune you ever... Oh. Well, don't you think that the lyrics are novel and... Uh-huh. But, Dinah, you can't judge a song the first time you sing it. You've got to analyze it, take it apart. I don't mean that way. Paste it together again. Well, look, Dinah, if you'll just take the song... Dinah? Oh, hello, George? But George, look, I didn't wake you up. She did. Now, look, George, you and I have been friends for years, and all right acquaintances. Well, look, George, about my song. If you just ask Dinah to... All right, if I woke you up, I'm sorry. You don't have to... You'll what? Well, if that's your attitude, it's okay with me. Goodbye. Well, we can cross him off the list.
You mean her?
No, him. He's going to stop sending us his laundry. Oh, well, I'm glad Miss Shore refused to sing my song. I'd rather have a man do it anyway.
Boss, why don't you call Mary Alonzo?
Mary Alonzo?
Yeah, you sent him a copy last night.
How did you know?
We got it back this morning.
So soon? Well, maybe he liked the song and he's waiting for an answer. Rochester, get me his number, will you? It's in my personal phone book.
Yes, sir.
There's the door. I'll get it. When you say, I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you. Boy, is Dinah making a mistake.
Hello, Jack.
Oh, Mary, come on in. What are you giggling about?
Oh, I just had to stop by and show you a love letter that Dennis sent me.
A love letter? Mary, you mean Dennis still has that crush on you? Well, how do you like that? Let me see the letter Dennis wrote you.
Here, I'll read it to you. You know, it's really sweet.
It is?
Mm-hmm. My darling
a bit
Mary.
Smart, too.
My darling Mary, I hope you won't think I'm silly, but I keep your picture on the wall of my bedroom. I didn't want my mother to know who I'm in love with, so I took a pencil and drew a mustache and a derby hat on you. I think I fooled my mother because now she's in love with you, too.
Lovely, darling.
And look how he finishes it. I love you madly and passionately, and will never forget the kiss you gave me when I took you home. Thanking you in advance for your next shipment, I remain yours truly, Dennis Day.
Well, that's the cutest letter I've ever heard.
Here's that number you wanted, boss.
Oh, yes. Excuse me, Mary. I'm going to call Mary Yolanza.
Mary Alonzo?
Yeah, he's going to make a record of my song. If you say that you are sorry, then I will understand. Neath the harvest moon we'll pledge our love anew. Hello? I'd like to speak to Mr. Lanza, please. Tell him Jack Benny's calling. So, my darling, though we parted, come back to whence we started. Hello? Hello, Mario? This is Jack Benny. I want to know how soon you'd like to make a record of my... What? But Mario, look. Well, now, why should you... But Mario. But... But... when? Well, if that's your attitude, Mr. Lanza, I'm not coming to that big party you're giving Friday night. Oh, I heard about it. Goodbye. Who does he think he is, anyway? That Mario Lanza. He won't sing my song, but that other song he sings. Be my love, for no one else can end this yearning. Be my love, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I suppose that's a better song than... When you say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you. Which song do you like better, Rochester?
Be my love, for no one else can end. Be my love.
All right. I merely asked you. There's someone at the door. Oh, hello, Dennis. Come on in.
Don't talk to me, you cad.
What?
Trying to steal my girl, eh? I ought to thrash you to within an inch of your life.
Now, look, Dennis, you've got a cold.
Isn't it a dilly? Now, don't try to change the subject. I've read about men like you. You take a poor innocent girl out of the make company, you get her a job on the radio, and then you think you own her.
Dennis.
I know every move you make, you wolf.
Look.
I've been sitting up in that tree in front of your house watching you through the window.
What?
Boy, do you look ugly in the morning.
Dennis.
I thought you'd never get into that girdle.
Oh, quiet. Now, look, Dennis, Mary told me about the big crush you've got on her, and you ought to forget about it.
Yes, Dennis, you're a nice boy, and I'd hate to hurt your feelings.
Oh, don't worry, Mary. You couldn't marry me if you wanted to. My mother disapproves.
Of me?
No, of me.
That I can understand. Now, Dennis, listen to me. Next week on my program, I want you to sing the song I wrote. When you say I beg your pardon... That kid's going to make an old man out of me. Come to think of it, he did.
Say, Jack, I better be running along. I've got some shopping to do.
Shopping?
I want to go to Jerry Rothschild's and get a shirt for my father.
Okay, Mary, wait a minute. I'll go with you. I want to get a haircut.
All right, come on.
It's such a nice day. Let's walk, huh? You see, Mary, there's Jerry Rothschild's in the middle of the block.
Oh, where are you going to get your hair cut?
At Jerry Rothschild's. They have a barber shop on the mezzanine. So while you're getting your father's shirt, I can get my hair cut.
That's very convenient.
Well, here it is, Rothschild's. Men's Furnishing and Barber Shop. Let's go in. Now, if you want to get your father's shirt, the counter's right over there.
Oh, okay, yes.
May I help you?
Yes, I'd like to buy a shirt.
What size does your father wear, Mary?
Well, just a minute. I've got Papa's letter right here. He wants a 15.5 collar.
Sleeve length?
58.
58? Oh, lady, you must be mistaken. Why, the average sleeve length is 34.
Certainly, Mary. Why does your father want such long sleeves?
Well, Mama gave him a pair of gloves for Christmas. He doesn't want to get them dirty.
What a family you've got. Look, Mary, while you're deciding on the shirt, I'll go and get...
Oh, you bud.
Huh?
Long time no see.
Oh, hello.
Jack, wasn't
Yes, that racetrack tout. I always run into it.
Are you people through, or do you go into a dance number?
Never mind. Now, Mary, I'm going to get my hair cut. I'll see you in a little while.
Okay, Jack, I'll be browsing around the store.
Okay. When you say, I beg your pardon, and I'll come back to you. Da-da-dum, bum, 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 I'll return. Gee, look at all those beautiful suspenders and belts. I think I'll get myself a new belt. Oh, clerk.
I'll be with you in a minute.
Okay. Boy, those belts really look nice.
Hey, Bud. Bud.
Huh? Oh, for heaven's sake.
Come here a minute.
Look, fella, I'm busy. Leave me alone, will you?
Okay. Just wanted to know what you were doing.
Well, if you must know, I'm buying something to hold my pants up.
Like what?
A belt.
Uh-uh.
What?
Get suspenders.
But I want a belt.
Belt hasn't got a chance.
It hasn't?
It looks good while it's going around, but at the end, belt buckles.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Take my advice and put your money on suspenders.
Suspender? Are you sure?
Well, look at the performance. Suspenders always come up from behind and finish in front.
I don't know what to do.
You can take my word for it. Suspenders will never let you down.
Well, I don't care what you say. I'm going to get a belt.
Okay. They're your pants. So long.
Goodbye. Oh, clerk.
Yes?
I'd like to get this belt.
Yes, sir. Would you like to look at suspenders?
Suspenders?
Yes, they're awfully good in the stretch.
Now cut that off! Just wrap up the belt. I'll pick it up after I get my hair cut. Gee, I'm in luck. All the barber chairs are empty. Maybe today I can get Mr. Drucker, the owner, to wait on me. Oh, hello, Mr. Drucker.
Well, how do you do, Mr. Benny?
I finally came in when you're not busy yourself. I'd like a haircut.
Certainly. Sit down and I'll get you a barber.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll be right back. Say, Harry, Mr. Benny wants a haircut. Will you take him?
Not me. Let Maury do it. Not me.
Yeah, how about you, Charlie?
No, thanks.
Now, wait a minute, boys. We've got to be fair about this. Who waited on him last time?
I did, and when I finished, he offers me a tip. But my hands are full, so he says I'll slip it in your pocket.
Well, at least you got something.
What do you mean, something? When I added up my money, I was a dime short.
Well, if Benny wanted a shave, I'd do it.
You would?
Sure. Then when the police came, I could say it was an accident.
Hey, Mr. Drucker, how about my haircut?
Hey, just a minute. Well, boys, any volunteers?
Well, okay, I'll take them.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Benny. Mr. Gilbert will wait on you.
Good.
What'll it be, Mr. Benny?
Just a haircut.
Yes, sir.
Shall I take off my glasses?
You don't even have to take off your hat.
Don't be so smart. Just give me a haircut.
Yes, sir.
Harry, don't take too much off the sides here, will you?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Well, is our little customer happy today? How's the haircut coming?
Fine, Mr. Drucker.
Would you also like a shampoo?
No, just a haircut.
A massage?
No, thank you. I tell you what I would like. I'd like a manicure.
A manicure? Certainly. Just a moment. I'll get one of the girls. Oh, Miss Daniels.
Yes?
Mr. Benny would like a manicure. Will you take him?
Not me. Let Betty do it. Not me.
How about you, Goldie?
No, thanks.
Now, wait a minute, girls. We've got to be fair about this. Who took care of him last time?
I did. For a 75-cent manicure, I had to sit there and polish 20 nails.
20?
When I got through with his hands, he took his shoes off. I know what you mean. He did that to me once.
Really? I didn't mind cutting his nails, but I had to play this little piggy at the same time. Then he gave me a tip and cried all the way home.
Mr. Drucker, how about my manicure?
In just a moment. Edith, you take it.
Okay.
And Mr. Benny, the manicurist will be with you in a moment.
Thank you. When you say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you. When you ask...
All right, Mr. Benny, I'm ready to give you a manicure. Just put your fingers in this bowl of water.
Certainly. Ouch! That water's hot.
I know. I'm trying to melt your cold, cold heart.
Never mind. Just give me a manicure. Oh, Mr. Drucker.
Yes?
I think I want my shoe shined, too.
Certainly, I'll get a boy. Hooray. Mr. Benny wants his shoe shine. Will you take it?
Not me.
How about you, Danny?
No, thanks.
Now, wait a minute, boys. We got to be fair about this. Who was the last one to shine Mr. Benny's shoes?
I don't remember the answer, but that question was on a quiz program.
Well, somebody's got to shine Mr. Benny's shoes. You do it, Danny.
Not me, Mr. Drucker. I ain't got nothing against shining Mr. Benny's shoes, but it's murder getting around them pearl buttons.
Mr. Drucker, what about that shine?
Just a minute.
Oh, Jack.
Here I am, Mary.
Did you get your hair cut?
Yes, and I was going to get a shine, too, but I'll let it go. Oh, Mr. Drucker.
Yes?
Mr. Drucker, wait till I turn the page here. Forget about the shine. That's from the manicure. It sticks to my finger. Forget about the shine and charge the haircut to my account. Oh, Harry Gilbert, you gave me such a good haircut. Here's a tip for you.
Thank you, Mr. Benny.
Come on, Mary.
You say, Harry, did I see right?
What?
Did Mr. Benny give you $1 tip?
Yep. Spin that old man around in a chair 3 times and he don't know what he's doing.
Good night, everybody. We're a little late.
The Lucky Strike program, starring Jack Benny, with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
Well, that was very good, Dennis. And Phil, I must admit that the music sounded good, too.
Well, thank you, Jackson. It's about time you paid my boys a compliment.
Phil, I compliment these boys any time I feel... Wait a minute, Phil.
Huh?
I just noticed that Fletcher is back in the band again.
Yeah, good old Fletch. Got back 3 days ago.
Well, Phil, wait a minute. I thought Fletcher always played a slide trombone. How come he's playing a clarinet?
We had to switch him to an instrument he could play with his hands close together. We can't get the handcuffs off.
Handcuffs?
Phil, what did Fletcher do this time?
He didn't do nothing.
Then why did they take him back to prison?
Because they changed wardens, and he's the only one who knows where everything is.
Oh, yeah? Then why did they put the handcuffs on?
Because they wanted everything to stay where it is.
Well, I'm glad I got that straightened out.
Say, Phil, how many times has Fletcher been on probation?
This is third semester.
Oh, Phil, say that word again, will you?
Semester.
Say it once more.
Semester.
You know, folks, at rehearsal, he kept pronouncing it seamstress. Imagine seamstress.
A natural mistake for a chap who likes to keep the audience in stitches.
Now, look, kids, let's stop all this silly talk and get on with the program, because tonight I have a great surprise for you.
Surprise?
Yes, I got a special guest to appear on our program today and sing the song that I wrote. What a song.
Oh, yeah? Last week you asked Dinah Shore to sing it, and she turned you down.
Well, I'm glad she did, because this song is much better for a male vocalist. Don't you think so, Dennis?
Call me, madam.
Oh, stop.
Oh, Jack, when will you learn? Last week you tried to get Mary Alonzo to sing it, and he wouldn't touch it.
I know, and I'm glad, because now I've really got the best.
Well, then, Jack, for heaven's sakes, who did you get?
I'll tell you who I got. None other than that inimitable stylist of popular songs, George Burns. That's who I got.
George Burns? Burns and Allen?
Yes.
You mean Sugar Throat?
That's exactly who I mean.
Well, I think Jack's made a very good choice. George Burns is an excellent singer.
What's the matter? You crazy or something?
Not crazy. You kids are just jealous because I wrote... Oh, say, that must be him now. Come in. Yes?
I'm the attendant at the parking lot. And I'd like to talk to Phil Harris.
Yeah, what is it, fella?
I'm having trouble parking your car.
Why, what's wrong?
Well, every time I step on the starter, the motor sings Sweet Adeline.
Just leave it where it is. I'll be out soon.
Okay, but what'll I do with a guy who has his arms around the exhaust pipe?
Leave him there. Leave him there.
Boy, is he asphyxiated.
Gee, I thought sure that would be George. I wonder if he's left his house yet. I better call him and see.
Oh, Mabel, what is it, Rachel? Mr. Benny's line is flashing. Yeah, I wonder what Schmo Waters wants now. I'll plug in and find out. Yes, Mr. Benny. Yeah, just a minute. I'll try and get him. He wants I should get him George Burns. George Burns? I wonder why. Maybe Jack wants him to be a guest on his television show next Sunday. Those two straight men. If it wasn't for Mary Livingston and Gracie Allen, they'd be a couple of bums. I don't know. On second thought, they could do an act together. Jack could play the violin while George listened to it. What kind of an act would that be? Jack fiddles while George burns. I made it funny. Someday I may have my own switchboard. Benny's line is flashing again. Yeah. He's jealous because we're getting laughs.
Gertrude, what about my call?
I tried Mr. Burns' house, but nobody answered.
Oh, well, forget it. Say, kid, George must be on his way down. Because Nobody answers at the house. See, look what time it is. I can't understand why George Burns is so late getting here.
Maybe he tried to call you at your house.
Say, maybe he did, but I haven't been home for the past 5 days. I came straight from Palm Springs to the studio. Hey, the phone. That must be George now. Hello? Is this Sugar Throat?
If you mean lump sugar, yes.
Oh, Rochester. Rochester, what do you want?
Well, Friday, you're calling from Palm Springs to check on the damage the rainstorm did to our house.
Now, wait a minute, Rochester. At the start of the program, I told Don Wilson we're not going to do any jokes about the rainstorm.
This ain't no joke, boss.
What?
Our front porch is covered with a foot of mud.
Well, clean it off. Remember, our house is in Beverly Hills.
The house is, but the porch ain't.
You mean our porch floated away? Where is it now?
With the Flying Enterprise.
What?
I stayed with it till the Coast Guard told me to jump.
Rochester, stop being silly. These are jokes. The people in the audience are laughing.
They must be from Florida.
Well, not all of them. Anyway, I'll see you when I get home. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Let me see. $5 billion is 6%. Whoops. See, this summer I'd be sitting pretty. All that interest beside my unemployment check. Oh, well, I'll ask Mert.
Jack, will you stop dreaming and get on with the show?
Yeah, Jackson, let's get going. I gotta leave.
What's your hurry?
Well, Alice had a new dress made, and she asked me to stop and pick it up at the Semesters.
That's Symphony! Can't get one thing right. Anyway, we can't get on with the show. Hey, that must be George now. Come in.
Well, Jack, I'm here.
Hey, kids, it's George Burns. George, I knew you wouldn't let a pal down.
Of course not, Jack. What are pals for?
You know, kids, George and I have been friends for 20 years.
25.
That's right. We've been following each other's careers since the days of vaudeville. We don't make a move without consulting each other. Isn't that right, George?
That's right.
But you did have me worried for a while. What took you so long to get here?
What took me so long? I've been chasing you all over town looking for you. When did you change networks?
When did I change networks? 3 years ago. George Burns, of all people.
Jack, don't get mad at him. Remember, he's your pal.
Buddies.
Now, kids, George came here for one specific reason, and that is to sing my
When
song.
I say I beg your pardon, then I'll come
Not
back
yet,
to
George.
you.
Not yet, George, not yet.
If you ask me to forgive
George,
you,
George,
I'll
hold
return.
it. Wait a minute, hold it. I had a special arrangement made for the
Whoa.
orchestra. Wait a minute. George, I had a special arrangement made for the orchestra. So first, I'll find out what key it's in. Phil, what key is... Oh, for heaven's sake. Phil, tell your boys to put away the dice and get back to their seats.
The boys ain't shooting dice.
Then why are they huddled around in a circle?
They're trying to get the handcuffs off of Fletch.
Well, tell them to hurry.
Oh, George, I should have asked you when you first came in. How's Gracie?
Fine, man. She was gonna come with me, but last week she bought a little puppy, and she went out and enter him in a dog show.
Oh, he must be cute.
Not only cute, but Gracie thinks this puppy is the smartest dog in the world. She even thinks he can read.
Wait a minute. Gracie thinks this puppy can read?
Yeah, when she bought him, the man said, when you lock him up at night in the kitchen, don't forget to put a newspaper on the floor.
And she thinks he can read?
Leaves the light on all night.
Well, look, George, about my song.
When you say I beg your pardon.
Wait for the band!
Boy, what an eager beaver.
Dennis, he's not an eager beaver. He's just anxious to sing my song because he thinks it's wonderful. Don't you, George?
Yes, sir. That song will sell more copies than My Tomato Ran Away, but I'll catch up to her.
Who wrote that?
Rogers and Hines.
What?
It has 57 choruses.
That's That's my pal. Always got a joke.
Buddies.
Now, come on, George. How about doing my song?
Okay.
Wait till you hear this, folks. Ready, Phil? Take it.
When you say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you. When you ask me to forgive you, I'll return.
Listen to that voice.
Like the swallows in Serrano, return to Capistrano. For you, my heart will always yearn.
That's my buddy.
When you say that you're sorry, then I will understand. 'Neath the harvest moon, we'll pledge our love anew.
That's an F sharp.
Oh, shut up. Oh, my darling, though we're parted, come back to whence?
Yes, whence?
We started, and sweetheart, then I'll come back to you.
George, that was wonderful. Absolutely
When
wonderful.
I say I beg him.
And believe me, you're through with it. Believe me, I'm grateful.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Mrs. Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the star of the Lucky Strike program, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking, and Mrs. Wilson, I must say you read that introduction beautifully.
Thank you.
Now, if Don were introducing me, he would have tried...
Hey, Jackson, what's going on? Why isn't Wilson here?
Because last Sunday on my television show, he made one little mistake. It was nothing.
Well, you say it's nothing because you don't understand the complexities of emotional reaction.
Complexities of emotional reaction?
And I know what I'm talking about. I once made a mistake. And for months, I couldn't look people in the eye. I was shunned, a social outcast. My friends wouldn't talk to me.
Phil, for heaven's sake, what did you do?
I put a cherry in a martini.
No! A cherry and a martini. Why, Phil, I don't blame your friends for shunning you.
Well, I didn't mind that, but they tied me to a post and gave me 20 lashes with a swizzle stick.
Phil, go sit down and stop making up jokes. Now, Mrs. Wilson, is Don really so upset about that mistake he made that he couldn't come to work?
Oh, yes, Mr. Benny. Last Sunday, when he came home right after the television show, I had to coax him to the dinner table. He just sipped at the consommé and nibbled at the salad, but I knew something was wrong when he didn't eat the T-bone.
Don didn't eat the steak?
No, the bone. He ate the steak.
Wait a minute, Mrs. Wilson. You mean to say when Don eats a steak, he eats the bones too?
That's why we had to get rid of our dog. Such fight.
Oh, I can imagine. But, Mrs. Wilson, if Don is as broken up as you say he is, I better call and reassure him that his little mistake was nothing. Well, don't worry about it, Mrs. Wilson. I'm sure Don will be all right pretty soon. Now, kids, let's get on with the show.
Oh, hello, Mr. Benny.
Well, Dennis, about time you got here. I hope you have a good excuse for being late.
Oh, I have. You see, I was walking down the street, and I passed a gas station, and there was a car standing there getting gas.
And you had to stop and watch the car getting gasoline?
Oh, it wasn't that. There was a dog in the back seat of the car that attracted my attention. A white French poodle.
Oh, well, that is a rare species.
Yeah. The man told me the dog was worth over $2,000.
Gee.
And while I was standing there, the attendant happened to accidentally spill some gasoline on the ground. And before the man could stop him, the dog jumped out of the car and lapped up all the gasoline.
Gosh.
And then he made a crazy dash down the street, and when he got about 2 blocks away, he suddenly stopped and flopped right over on his side.
Dead?
No, he ran out of gas.
Dennis.
Hey, Phil, look how red he's getting.
Yeah.
You told me that story would burn him up.
Phil, did you give Dennis that story?
Yeah, Jackson, loosen up, laugh a little. That's a funny story.
It's funny. Dennis, how much did Phil charge you for that story?
Oh, he didn't charge me anything. It was an exchange.
An exchange?
Yeah, he told me the story, and I told him all about the complexities of emotional reactions.
I wondered where he got it. Now I'm wondering where you got it.
The doctor wrote it on my birth certificate.
That I can believe. Now, look, kid, it's time for your song, so let's have it.
Okay.
That was Little White Cloud That Cried, sung by Dennis Day and accompanied by Phil Harris and his Gruen Wristwatch Orchestra. And now, folks...
Well, that's a new one. Jackson, why did you call my band the Gruen Wristwatch Orchestra?
Phil, if I've got to listen to them, I might as well get something for it.
Now, wait a minute, Jackson. You have just cast aspersions on a musical group that only last week played at the formal opening of the Pismo Beach Grunion Festival.
Very funny, Phil, but I happen to know that last week those little fish called Grunion weren't running.
That's why the committee hired my band.
What?
They put my boys on a barge, towed them 3 miles out. They played That's What I Like About the South, and the Grunion hit the beach like it was D-Day.
Really drove the fish out of the water, huh?
Well, I don't want to brag, but it was the first time they had halibut dancing in the streets at Oxnard.
No, Phil, that's not bragging. If you did it, you did it. However, tomorrow I'm taking a rumba lesson at Arthur Murray's, and if my partner turns out to be a flounder, I'm going to punch you right in the nose. So, Phil, the next time I say anything about your boy, just let it go.
Oh, Mr. Benny.
Yes, Dennis?
How come Mary isn't here?
Huh? Oh, Mary's in Palm Springs. See, next week I have to go to New York. Mary's going with me, so I thought I'd let her take a little vacation.
You never give me a vacation.
Well, Dennis, when I give Mary a week off, we can fill in with more dialogue, but it's difficult to have a program without a song, so I can't do without a singer.
Excuses.
Huh?
You gave Kenny Baker a vacation.
What?
He's been gone 12 years.
Dennis.
When's he coming back? I'm getting tired.
Dennis, I didn't give Kenny Baker a vacation. He left because of another job that paid more money.
Gee, didn't that upset you?
No, I was his agent. Anyway, Dennis. Hello?
I have a long-distance call from Mr. Jack Benny from Palm Springs.
Oh, this is Jack Benny.
One moment, please.
The Palm Springs Biltmore Hotel.
I have Miss Livingston's party.
I'm sorry, but Miss Livingston went out to play golf about 10 minutes ago.
Mr. Benny, Miss Livingston's not in now.
Gee, and I was so anxious to talk to her.
If you like, you can talk to me.
To you?
Yes, I have a message for you.
Oh, what is it?
Will you go over to Miss Livingston's house and leave a note for the milkman?
Well, certainly. What shall I say?
Just say sorry I couldn't meet you last night.
Miss Livingston wants me to leave that note for the milkman?
No, I do. I get to town once in a while, kid.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
Now, when Miss Livingston comes back, I'll tell her.
Miss, what frightened you?
2 mackerel just came through the lobby and they were dancing.
Gee, Phil's orchestra really drove them inland, didn't it?
What did you say?
Nothing. Goodbye. Oh, excuse me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, what did you call for?
I want to ask you, boss, how long will you be in New York?
About a week.
You want me to run the usual ad in the paper?
What ad?
About renting your house while you're gone.
No, Rochester, not for just 1 week. You know.
Boss, you sure are a changed man.
What do you mean?
You once rented your house when you went to the movies.
It was a Jane Russell picture, and I didn't know when I'd get back. Now, Rochester, hang up and get back to your work.
Boss, I have been working. I washed the dishes, polished the silver, vacuumed the rugs, waxed the floors, mopped the kitchen, and after I finish listening to your program, I'm going to clean the woodwork and wash the windows.
Wait a minute. You're taking time out to listen to my program?
What do you mean, time out? That's work, too.
Oh, well, Rochester, I'll be home right after the show. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
Mr. Wolfie Gilbert was here to see you.
Wolfie Gilbert? The songwriter?
Yeah, I told him you were at the studio, and he's on his way down to see you right now.
Oh, that's wonderful. Rochester, did you tell him about the song I wrote?
No, boss.
Why not?
That and how you look in the morning are my guarded secrets.
Well, I'll tell him myself when he gets here. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hey, kids, Wolfie Gilbert, the songwriter's coming over to see me. What a songwriter. You know, he wrote Waiting for the Robert E. Lee, Down Yonder, The Peanut Vendor, Lilac Time, and a great bunch of songs. Now, kids, as soon as we... Hey, that must be Wolfie Gilbert now. Come in. Hello, Jack. Wolfie! Wolfie, it certainly is a pleasure to see you.
Well, I stopped over at your house, and Rochester sent me to the studio.
Yes, I know.
And, Jack, I wish you'd tell Mary I'm sorry that I only had a dime.
What are you talking about? Mary's in Palm Springs.
She is?
Yes.
Well, who's that girl who checked my hat?
Oh, that's Barbara Stanwyck.
Barbara Stanwyck checking hats for you? Wasn't she on your television show last Sunday?
Yes, and she didn't read the fine print in her contract. Now, Wolfie, I'd like you to meet my orchestra leader. Oh, Phil, this is Mr. Gilbert, the famous songwriter.
Glad to know you, Gilbert. Where's Sullivan?
This isn't Gilbert and Sullivan. This is Wolfie Gilbert. He had nothing to do with Sullivan. Now, Dennis, come here. Now, Dennis, don't you want to shake hands with Mr. Gilbert?
Sure not. He wouldn't be after having anything to do with the Sullivan, and truth be God, and bad cess to him, too.
Dennis, behave yourself. Now, Wolfie, how he got mixed up with an Irish line, I'll never understand. A straight line, yes, but an Irish line, this I will never figure out. Now, Wolfie, was there something special you wanted to see me about?
Yes, Jack. I really had a trip to make over here. I wanted to talk to you about the song you wrote.
Uh-huh.
So I heard that you've been having a little bad luck. I mean, about trouble with it.
Yeah, well, yes, and frankly, I can't understand it, Wolfie. I wrote my song 3 months ago, and it still isn't on the hit parade. I haven't even been able to get it published.
Well, Jack, believe me, it's nothing to worry about. You mustn't become discouraged. You know, it isn't easy to get a song to be a hit.
But, Wolfie, you didn't have any trouble. Look at Robert E. Lee, Lilac Time, The Peanut Vendor. And how about your latest hit, Down Yonder? Everybody is singing that.
Yes, I know, Jack. I'm grateful. But that's what I wanted to tell you. It's true, Down Yonder is a hit today. When I wrote that song 30 years ago, it was a flop.
Down Yonder was a flop?
Yeah, Jack, today and this big hit.
I know.
Well, so you see, Jack, 30 years from now, your song may be a success, too.
I mean, but who can wait that long? I'm 39 now. In 30 years, I'll be 45. By the way, how old are you?
65.
And they call you Wolfie?
Quiet, Phil. By the way, why do they call you Wolfie?
Well, I didn't spend all my time waiting for the Robert E. Lee.
You know, that Waiting for the Robert E. Lee was a great song, too. Now, Wolfie, as one composer to another, how do you go about writing your songs?
Jack, it is really inspiration. Mostly inspiration. Now, you take Robert E. Lee. I happened to be in New Orleans one morning. I was sitting on the levee, looking over the broad Mississippi. It was a beautiful day, and I felt wonderful. As I watched this solitary riverboat loom out of the morning haze and majestically drift by, an idea, some words, a lyric, came to my mind, and I just had to put it down on paper. Now tell me, Jack, what inspired you to write your song?
Well, it's an amazing coincidence, Wolfie. One day I came home after a broadcast. It was a dismal, rainy day. I had a headache. My stomach was upset. My feet hurt. And as I walked into the house, I tripped and broke my glasses and split my lip. Then I sat down and wrote, "When you say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you." And yet, from the lyrics and music of my song, you'd never guess how much I was suffering, would you?
Well, who's got enough money in the bank to answer that?
Phil, be quiet. Well, anyway, Wolfie, I do want to thank you for your advice, and it made me feel a whole lot better. You're an inspiration to young songwriters.
Thanks, Jack. I hope I inspired you, too.
Oh, you did. So long, Wolfie.
Goodbye, Jack.
Well, folks, this ends another show. Goodbye.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
You see, Don, you said it very well.
Yes, dear, I can do it all right here at home, but if I had to do it on the program, I'd be a nervous wreck. I can't face Jack after the mistake I made on his television show.
Well, perhaps you'll feel better by the time Jack gets back from New York.
Oh, is he going to New York?
Yes, he's going to try to get his song published. As a matter of fact, he called a few minutes ago to say goodbye. The time he called, he and Rochester were in.
Boss, I guess that does it.
Are you sure you packed everything?
Uh-huh. Say, Mr. Benny, you do so much traveling. Why don't you get some new luggage?
Rochester, I wouldn't part with these bags for anything. They were with me through my entire career.
They were?
Yep. Now, you take those 2 bags over there. I was just a youngster leaving home when my father went out and bought them for me.
Your father bought them for you? Where were you going?
He didn't care as long as I went. You know, Rochester, if these bags could only talk. I mean, the stories they could tell of my first days in show business.
What was your first act like?
I was a concert violinist.
No!
Yes, I was. In fact, that's why I wrote my song, to satisfy the music in my soul. What a song. You know, as soon as I get off the train in New York, I'm taking it straight to a publisher. By the way, where did you pack my song, Rochester?
In that big bag.
Good.
You'll find it between your underwear and your sandwiches.
Did you wrap the sandwiches in wax paper?
No, we didn't have any.
Gee, I hope nothing from the sandwiches gets on my song.
Personally, I hope nothing from the song gets on the sandwich.
Never mind that. I'll answer the door, Rochester. That's Miss Livingston. She's going to New York with me. Coming. Hello, dollface.
Why, Blue Eyes, I didn't think you cared.
Oh, I thought it was Mary. Come on in.
Hey, Jackson, I'm glad I caught you before you left for New York. I wanted to thank you for lending me that $1,000  2 weeks ago, and I'm happy to say that I can pay it back to you right now.
The $1,000? You can?
Yeah. Here you are.
Thank you, Phil. Excuse me just a minute. Hello? Prudential? This is Jack Benny. I'd like to cancel that life insurance policy I took out on Phil Harris. Thank you. Goodbye.
Jackson, do you mean to say that after you loaned me that $1,000, you took out an insurance policy on my life?
Certainly, Phil. That's just good business.
But how come I didn't know about it? Wasn't I supposed to sign the application?
Well, I signed it for you.
Well, that's awful, Jackson. You mean you forged my act?
Well, I can do that. It's in your contract.
Oh. Well, what kind of a policy did you take out on me?
$1,000, straight life.
Well, didn't you know that by paying a little extra, you could have got double indemnity?
I knew it, but I didn't want to be tempted. I'm only human, you know.
Excuse me, Mr. Benny.
All right, Chaz.
Hello, Mr. Harris. Mr. Benny, will it be all right if I take next Sunday off?
Let's see. Next Sunday, huh?
I have a date.
A date? Oh, with Susie?
No, this is a new girl, and I can only see her on Sundays.
Oh, does she work the rest of the week?
No, she hasn't got a job.
Then why can you only see her on Sundays?
Her boyfriend is on the Amos and Andy show.
Oh.
I got him the job.
Oh, all right, Rochester, you can have Sunday off.
Thanks, boss.
Come in. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Phil.
Just call me Dollface.
Phil, it was a mistake.
Say, Jack, I came here by cab, and the driver hasn't got change for 20. Can you lend me $1?
Sure, Mary, here.
Thanks. Excuse me, fellas. I want to pay the cab.
Look, Jackson, I think I'll be running the
Oh, wait a minute, Phil.
Go.
Phil, wait a minute.
Huh?
I'm glad Mary stepped out. I want to ask you something.
What?
Well, while we're back east, Mary will spend all her time in Plainfield, and, well, I may want to go dancing with a girl some night in New York. Do you know any numbers?
Jack. You dog, you.
Phil, Mary will be back soon. Don't you know any girls in New York? I mean, can't you give me a few numbers?
Look, Jackson, I can do better than that. I'll give you my old address book. Here.
Whoop. I dropped it. Phil, that's your address book?
It's got over 1,200 pages in it.
1,200 pages of nothing but girls' names?
There's also some comments by the author.
All right, Phil, thanks for the book. I'll have it crated and shipped to New York. I really appreciate it, you know.
I took care of it, Jack. You ready?
Just about.
You know, Jackson, I think you're kind of silly going to New York just to have your song published.
I'm not silly, Phil. I just have a lot of faith in my song.
Jack's right, Phil. Most of our prominent composers today started with one big hit, like Hoagie Carmichael.
Yeah, he got his start with Stardust.
And Cole Porter.
That's right. He wrote Night and Day.
And what about Joe Rhines?
Yeah, what about... Wait a minute, Mary. What did Joe Rhines write?
Ajax, the foaming cleanser.
Look, kids, if you two are trying to make fun of me, you're wasting your time. I'm going to New York, and we're... Oh, darn. Come in! Oh, it's Dennis.
Yeah. I came by to see if you like the song I'm going to do on next Sunday's program.
Well, I'm glad you did come by, Dennis. Not only do I want to hear your song, but I'd hate to go away without saying goodbye to you.
Look, let's get this over with.
What?
I feel awful.
Why? What's the matter, Dennis?
Well, I'd never eaten oysters in my life, and everybody keeps telling me how good they are, so this afternoon I ordered some for lunch. Ooh, my stomach.
Well, kid, maybe you got stuck with some bad oysters. Were they spoiled?
How should I know?
Well, you should be able to tell when you take them out of the shell.
Oh, out of the shell!
Dennis, Blue Point Head. Sing your song.
Okay, but if I rattle a bit on the high notes, blame the shells.
Never mind. Just sing, will you? Dennis, that sounded wonderful. It'll be great on the program.
Gee, thanks.
Now, Mary, we better get going to the station. I'll call Rochester and tell him to get the car out.
Oh, you don't have to, Mr. Benny. I'll drive you down in my car.
Oh, good.
Look, Jackson, I'm going to be running along. Say, look, if I want to contact you in New York, where'll you be staying?
Oh, the same place I always do, the Acme Plaza Hotel.
Oh, Jack, not that dump again.
Mary, it's not a dump. Some very famous people stay there.
He's right, Livy. Last time we were in New York, I visited Jackson at the Acme Plaza, and I noticed that Hosea Turby was staying there, too.
Are you sure?
Certainly I'm sure. He had the room right next to Jackson, and he had his name on a sign hanging on the outside of his door, Hosea Turby.
That was Do Not Disturb. Hosea Turby.
I'm just trying to help you. So long, Livy. Have a pleasant trip, Jackson.
Thanks, Phil.
See you when we get back, Phil. All right, Dennis, come on. We'll go in your car.
Say, Jack, when you're in New York, you think you'll find time to come out to Plainfield and have dinner with my family?
Oh, sure. I'd love to have... Dennis, if you're going to make a turn, make it.
I'm not going to make a turn.
Then why do you keep sticking your hand out?
I want to see if it's raining.
What?
If it is, I'll stop and put the top up.
Jack,
Jack.
Wait a minute, Mary. Wait a minute. I'm trying to figure that one out. Now, let's see. If the top is down, why does he have to stick his hand out to see if it's raining? Dennis!
Quiet, I'm trying to figure it out, too.
Thank goodness, here's the railroad station. Dennis, pull up to the main entrance.
Okay.
Watch your step, Mary. Well, thanks, Dennis. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Have a nice trip.
We will. Goodbye.
Bye, Dennis.
Goodbye.
Why isn't there a porter around when you want one?
A porter? Jack, you always carry your own bag.
Well, I can't this time. Yesterday I hurt my shoulder.
Carry your bag, sir?
Yes. But first, would you mind signing these papers?
Jack, what's that all about?
I told you I hurt my shoulder. If he signs these papers, he can get his tip from the Blue Cross. Just sign right here, boy, huh?
Mister, I don't know who you are, but I've been a porter at this station for a long time, and only once before did I run across a man who presented a similar situation.
Who was that?
I don't know who he was, but it was 20 years ago, and he got off a train that arrived from Waukegan.
Come on, Mary, let's go.
I'll never forget him. He had a violin and gypsy earrings.
Mary, come on, let's go.
Well, after I carried his bag out to the taxi stand, I held out my hand.
Did you get anything?
Get anything? He charged me 2 bits for reading my palm.
Mary, let's go. We're not interested in this man's life.
Here's your baggage check, sir.
Thank you. Come on, Mary, let's go in the station. Gee, look at all these people here.
Yeah.
There's the information desk. Oh, pardon me, mister, but is the super chief leaving on time?
I don't know.
What gate does it leave from?
I don't know.
Well, what track does it leave on?
I don't know.
If you don't know anything, what are you doing behind that information desk?
I had to get behind something. I ripped my pants.
Come on, Mary, let's go.
Attention, please, attention. Will the holder of baggage check number 6847-35904 please go to the station master's office? You have just won a turkey.
Imagine raffling off a turkey at a railroad station. But can a guy find out what time his train leaves? No.
Jack, they just put up the notice on the bulletin board. We have 20 minutes.
Oh, good. That'll give me time to go to the newsstand.
Yes, I want to get some magazines, too.
Gee, I hope the porter will be careful with my luggage. I brought along 600 sandwiches.
600 sandwiches?
If this train gets snowbound, I'll make a fortune. Mary, I think the newsstand is over here.
Say, Jeanette, look, there's Mary Livingston. Ain't she the lucky one?
Yeah, imagine having Jack Benny on your arm.
Oh, is that who that is? I thought she won the turkey.
Attention, please, attention. The Sunset Limited now arriving on track 8. The El Capitan now arriving on track 6. And you'll never guess what's happening on track 4.
What?
Sure, it's supposed to come.
Mary, what magazines do you have?
Hurry, hold on. Hurry, hold on. Sure, it's supposed to come.
Mary, what?
Attention, please, attention. Will the holder of baggage check number 6847-35904 please come and get this turkey? Please? Oh, shut up.
Jack, I've got some magazines, so let's get on the train.
Okay.
Oh, mister.
Yes, porter.
I can't find your space on the train. May I see your ticket?
Yes, here you are.
Oh, no wonder I couldn't find it. This is a coach ticket.
A coach ticket? Well, I don't know how that happened, but I better go and change it and get a Pullman.
Yes, sir. And here's 15 cents.
15 cents? What's that for?
Your bag fell open, and I ate one of them.
Oh, thanks.
Man, what peanut butter.
Come on, Mary. I want to get my ticket changed to a Pullman. Let me see. Where's the ticket window? Oh, here's a window that isn't busy here. Oh, mister. Are you the ticket agent?
If I'm not, I made $2,000 today. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, I'd like to exchange this ticket.
Oh, did you get it for Christmas?
No, I didn't get it for Christmas. Just that this ticket is for the coach, and I'd like to ride Pullman. Now, look, my train leaves in a few minutes, so will you please...
Pardon me, but would you mind if we went ahead of you?
Huh?
We just got married, and we're very anxious to get away. Ain't we, honey?
Well, that's all right. Go right ahead.
Where would you like to go?
Any place. We just want to get away before our parents catch up with us. They objected to us getting married.
They did? Why?
They tried to tell us we're too young.
Too young to really be in love?
They said that love's a word we've only heard, and I begin to know the meaning of it. Ain't that right, honey? And yet we're not too young to know. Our love will last, though years may go.
Well, don't you worry. Someday they may recall. You are not too young at all. Well, here's a ticket and congratulations.
Thank you. And it was very nice of you to let us go ahead of you. Would you like to kiss the bride?
No, thanks.
Everybody refuses. Come on, dear. We're leaving for our honeymoon.
Now, clerk, how about waiting on me?
Oh, yes, you want a Pullman. Here you are, compartment A.
Thank you. Tell me, clerk, do I have to change trains?
Indubitably.
What?
Indubitably is 2 miles east of definitely.
You're insane.
Insane is 2 miles north of Indubitably.
Now, cut that out! Just give me my ticket.
All right. All we have to do now is transfer your luggage. Do you have your baggage check?
Yes.
What is the number?
The number? Oh, here it is. 6847-35904.
Well, you won the magic!
What?
I found the winner!
Oh, no, you don't. I'm not taking that silly bird.
Both of the combat man.
Oh, come on, Mary. Let's get on the train. Now, let's see. 594, 595, 596, 597, 598, 599, 600. 600 sandwiches. That's what I started out with. How do you like that, porter, giving me 15 cents just to get a laugh? Oh, well, good night.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wolfie. Well, ladies and gentlemen, last night Jack Benny returned from his trip to New York. As we look in on him, he's going through his clothes closet and picking out some suits to send to the cleaners.
Well, let's see. I'll send this blue one, maybe the gray one.
I wore that a couple of times in New York. Yeah, it better be cleaned. It's got lipstick all over the lapel. Gee, those subways are crowded. Oh, Rochester! Rochester!
You call me, boss?
Yes, send these suits to the cleaners, will you please?
Yes, sir.
Where have you been for the past hour?
I've been straightening up my room.
Oh.
And I've been meaning to talk to you about my room for a long time, boss. It's getting kind of shabby, and I think it's time it was fixed up a little.
Fixed up?
Yeah, I wish you'd come take a look at it.
Okay, come on. I think you're making a mountain out of a molehill.
No, I'm not. My room is so old-fashioned.
Oh, stop exaggerating. Every time you want something done, you make a big thing out of it.
There, boss, take a look for yourself.
Roger, it's so dark in your room, I can't see a thing.
Wait a minute, I'll light the gas.
Yeah.
There, that's better.
Let's see now. It doesn't look... Rochester, you left your pajama pants on the floor.
Oh, yeah, I'll hang them up.
Those are just the pants. What'd you do with the tops?
Tops? You ought to know I don't wear them.
I ought to know why.
Don't you remember the ad I answered when I first came to work for you?
No, what did the ad say?
Wanted. Valet who only wears bottom of pajamas to work for gentlemen who only wears tops.
Oh, yes, we've split about 6 pairs since then, haven't we? Now, let's see. Rochester, your room doesn't look so bad. What do you think you'd need?
Well, I thought I'd like to have Venetian blinds.
Why do you want Venetian blinds?
I don't want anybody to know I ain't got a window.
Oh, stop. It'll make you happy. I'll have them paint a window on your wall.
Have them painted closed. I don't want to catch cold.
All right, I will.
I'll get it, boss.
Hello, Rochester.
Oh, come on in, Miss Livingston. Welcome back from New York.
Well, thank you. Say, you look kind of happy today.
I am. Mr. Benny's going to redecorate my room.
Oh, that's nice.
Say, Miss Livingston, maybe you can tell me something. Every room in this house has electricity in it but the servants' room. Why does that room have gas?
Well, it was done for convenience.
Convenience?
Yes, anybody that works for Mr. Benny eventually wants to kill himself.
Who is it, Rochester?
It's me, Jack.
Oh, well, hello, Mary. What are you doing over here?
Well, I just got a special delivery letter from Mama with some exciting news.
Oh, a letter from your mother, eh? Well, what does the hostess on the shrimp boat have to say?
I'll read it to you.
Go ahead.
My darling daughter, Mary, I know you'll be surprised getting this letter so soon after having been here, but I have news. Your sister Babe is coming out to visit you.
Babe? Say, that's wonderful news.
No, it isn't.
Oh.
Listen to the rest of the letter. Mary, the reason Babe is coming out to California is to get away from here and all the sad memories. Her boyfriend Wilbur is gone, and he met a very sad end. He worked for a brewery and fell into a vat of beer. They saved him from drowning in the beer, but he died from pneumonia, which he caught from everybody trying to blow the foam off him.
Oh, that's a shame.
This next paragraph's about you.
About me?
Yes.
Oh.
Tell Jack that after he spent the night here, we found that he'd left his toupee and his toothbrush. So we're mailing them to him. The one with the handle is the toothbrush.
As if I wouldn't know. Mary, ask your mother if she can... Come in.
Oh, hello, Jack, Mary.
Don, you're up. You're well.
Gee, it's good to see you again, Don.
Well, thanks.
So you're finally over your nervous breakdown.
Yes, Mary, the third psychiatrist I went to cured me.
The third psychiatrist? What was wrong with the first two?
Their couches broke. Well, I better be running along now.
So long, Don.
So long, Jack.
Excuse me, Mr. Benny.
What is it, Rochester?
The cleaner just came and picked up your gray suit, and he told me to congratulate you.
Congratulate? Oh, I got that in the subway. You know, Mary, I've been thinking about your mother's letter. It'll be nice company for you having your sister Babe stay with you.
Yes, and while she's here, Jack, I wish you'd be kind of nice to her. You know, she's peeved at you for saying all those awful things about her on the radio.
Oh, well, I'll make it up to her. The first day that she comes, I'll have her over for dinner. I'll have Rochester make something special. What does she like?
She likes most everything, but she's especially fond of meat.
Well, I'll broil some steaks, Miss Livingston. How does your sister like her meat cooked?
I don't know. She's never had it that way.
Look, Mary, you told me not to... Excuse me. Hello?
Hiya, Jackson. I called to see if I could miss tomorrow's rehearsal.
Tomorrow's rehearsal?
Yeah, I'm going to have a tooth pulled. That upper molar that has the bridge attached to it.
Oh, that's too bad. When did the tooth start hurting you?
1935.
1935? That was 17 years ago. Why didn't you have it pulled out then?
Because a fella told me I could ease the pain by holding a mouthful of bourbon.
Oh, did it work?
Gloriously.
But, Phil, how could you hold whiskey in your mouth for 17 years?
I didn't hold it, Jackson. I just let it flow under the bridge.
Well, okay, Phil, I guess you can miss rehearsal. Goodbye.
So long, Dad.
Oh, say, Phil.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a little favor. Well, please speak to Sammy, your drummer, and ask him to take the silhouette of that bathing beauty off of his bass drum.
That ain't no silhouette.
It isn't?
No, there's a midget inside.
Well, get her out of there.
All right. So long, Buster.
Goodbye. You know, Mary, that Phil really is a character, isn't
You can say that again, Jack.
Yeah, say it again, Mr. Benny.
Dennis, when did you come in?
While you were talking on the phone.
Oh.
I came over to see if you let me use your piano to rehearse my song.
I guess so. But, Dennis, you have a piano at home.
I know, but I can't get in my house. It's quarantined on account of smallpox.
Smallpox? Oh, that's awful. Who's got it?
Me.
What?
Well, Dennis, you look fine. What makes you think you have smallpox?
Well, it must be me. My mother and father hung a quarantine sign in front of our house, and they haven't got it.
Dennis, look, I've got news for you. There's no smallpox in your house. Your parents are just trying to get rid of you.
Oh, well, if they're trying to get rid of me, why don't they do it in the usual way?
Well, what's the usual way?
Well, they start a game of blind man's buff, and while I'm it, they move.
Look, Dennis, you can't blame your mother and father for wanting to get away from you occasionally. You drive people nuts with your silly talk. Why do you act this way?
Well, I have a good excuse. Once while my mother was bathing me, she dropped me on my head.
When you were a baby?
No, last week.
You had to ask her, Mary. I was going to leave it alone. You had to ask her. Dennis, my piano's over there. Rehearse your song and go already.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dennis, you sang that very well, but then why shouldn't you? You have such a wonderful voice, and it's such a beautiful song.
Whatever happened to that lousy song you wrote?
What?
You went all the way to New York to try to get it published. What an awful thing that is. When you say, I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you.
Dennis, be quiet.
Huh?
When I came back from New York, I called you and everybody else and told them not to ask Jack about this song.
Mary, you called everybody?
Yes, Jack. I know how sensitive you are about what happened in New York, and I didn't want anyone to hurt your feelings.
Well, I appreciate your thoughtfulness, Mary, but you didn't have to do that. Just because I was unlucky in New York is no reflection on my song. I mean, even if they didn't want to publish it, the public loves it.
I'm more popular than that song, and I've got smallpox.
You have not. And Dennis, please, leave me alone. Go already.
But I can't get in my house.
Just get out of mine. Now go.
Come on, Dennis. Let's leave Jack alone. I'll drive you home.
Okay. Goodbye, Mr. Benny.
Bye, Jack.
Goodbye. Smart aleck kid. What does he know about songs? Oh, gee, I'm still tired from that trip. I think I'll go to bed.
How come you're going upstairs, Mr. Benny?
I'm a little tired, so I'm going to turn in early.
Well, I'll come up and make the bed for you.
Okay.
By the way, boss, I haven't had a chance to tell you, but I'm sorry your song was turned down in New York.
Well, I guess. Wait a minute, Rochester. I haven't mentioned a word about it to you. How'd you know my song was turned down?
When you got off the train, you were crying.
Well...
I haven't seen you so upset since the bank holiday in 1933.
Never mind. Gee, these shoes are tough to get off.
Here's your pajama tops.
Thanks. Wow, look at the color of them. Bright purple. Gee, the bed feels good.
Are you going to read a while?
No, Rochester. Turn out the light, please.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Good night, Rochester. Oh, boy, I'm sure tired. That trip to New York took a lot out of me. I'll feel better after a good night's sleep. I've still got a lot of faith in my song. Those 378 publishers I went to could be wrong. That song will be a classic someday.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There is quite a bit of excitement here tonight as the entire musical world gathers for the opening performance of the New York Symphony Orchestra here at Carnegie Hall.
Gee, I'm at Carnegie Hall.
Yes, this is a night that will long live in the memory of music lovers the world over, for it will witness the premiere performance of that classical composition, When You Say I Beg Your Pardon, Then I'll Come Back to You.
That's my song. My song. The New York Symphony is going to play my song.
However, before the conductor ascends the podium, we have a few minutes which I will use to describe the scene to you. This vast hall resembles a who's who of the music world. The seats are filled with such famous personages as Arturo Toscanini, Sir Thomas Beecham, and Andre Castellanos in the first row. In the second row, I see Alfred Wallenstein and Joscha Heifetz. Sitting on an aisle seat, I see Arthur Rubinstein. And sitting under an aisle seat is Phil Harris. I will try to interview him. Yes, I have caught his attention. He is coming this way. I'll see if I can get him to say a few words. Oh, Maestro Harris.
What is it, Clyde?
Maestro, I understand that you are an associate of the composer we're honoring tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody associated with him is here tonight. That is, everybody except Dennis Day.
Oh? And tell me, Maestro, why isn't Mr. Day here?
He couldn't come. His house is guaranteed.
That's quarantine!
Stupid Maestro.
Maestro Harris is going back to his seat with a big smile for everyone.
Why shouldn't he smile? He's got the happiest teeth in town.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're quite fortunate. Another of the composer's associates, Miss Mary Livingston, is here. I'll see if I can interview her. Oh, Miss Livingston? Miss Livingston?
Yes?
Did you come all the way from California to hear this concert?
Well, I didn't have to. You see, I was already here. I was visiting my family in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Oh, yes, your family has a farm there.
That's right.
Is it a large farm?
Oh, just average. 60 chickens, 12 pigs, and 4.5 cows.
4.5 cows?
My sister Babe loves meat.
Oh. Gee, I hope Babe ate the front half so they can still milk it.
Now, ascending the podium is the head of New York's largest musical publishing company, Mr. Martin Jones. Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Jones is acting peculiar. He's taken a revolver from his pocket. He's ascending the podium. He is holding the pistol to his head. He's about to say something.
I'm killing myself because I turned down this wonderful song. Oh!
Mr. Jones has descended the podium. And now the great moment has arrived. The lights dim and a hush falls over the audience as Sergei Dimitrikov, the maestro who will conduct tonight, ascends the podium. He raps his baton, and the orchestra starts tuning up. My, this is a strange thing. The silhouette on the bass drum is dancing.
Sammy never got her out of there.
And now the maestro is turning to the audience. He is about to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sergei Dimitrikov.
How do you do? And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my extreme pleasure to introduce the famous composer of that wonderful song, When You Say I Beg Your Pardon, Then I'm Coming Back to You. And here he is, Mr. Jigbeni.
Jigbeni. Jigbeni. That's me ascending the podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Benny looks distinguished in those gray spats, striped pants, white tie, and purple pajama top.
Where did I get the striped pants?
Mr. Benny is going to honor this audience tonight by joining the orchestra as first violinist. The conductor is commanding the attention of the entire ensemble. All eyes are on him, including those of the silhouette. He raises his baton, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the orchestra plays When You Say I Beg Your Pardon, Then I'll Come Back to You.
Oh, boss.
Huh? Oh, hello, Rochester.
Boss, I hate to wake you up. You had such a smile on your face, but it's time for dinner.
Thanks, Rochester. I just had the most wonderful dream.
Well, boss, there's an old saying that if you put a wishbone under your pillow, your dreams will come true.
A wishbone?
Yes. Boss, by the way, what were you dreaming about?
Well, I dreamt that the New York Symphony played my song.
Well, there's no use killing a chicken just for that.
I guess not. Good night, folks.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now let's go out to Jack Benny's home in Beverly Hills. At the moment, Rochester's cleaning house.
What a day. So far, I did the washing and ironing, scrubbed the floors, and cleaned the woodwork. Doggone, I sure hate February. Mr. Benny makes me work 3 hours a day longer because it's the shortest month. Well, I better get on with it.
Answer the door.
Quiet, Polly. I'll get it. Oh, good morning, Mr. Mailman.
Good morning, Rochester. There was too much mail to put in the box, so I thought I'd bring it in. Here are the letters.
Thank you.
And here are Mr. Benny's magazines. Lonely Hearts. Woman's Home Companion. Body Beautiful. And here's the Wall Street Journal.
That's for me.
Oh, yes, it is for you, Rochester. Do you own stock?
I have 2 shares of Mr. Benny. He's incorporated himself.
Oh.
I bought it at 39, and it's been there for 10 years.
I see. Well, I must be getting along.
Is that all the mail you have for Mr. Benny?
No, I'm still carrying that letter with postage due on it. But I guess there's no use going through that again.
No, I guess not. How long ago was that letter mailed?
I don't know. It was handed down to me by my father. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, I'll put this mail over by...
Who was at the door, Rochester?
Oh, good morning, boss. It was the mailman.
Oh. What's in the mail, Rochester?
Here's a letter from Max Factor.
From Max Factor? What does it say?
Dear Mr. Benny, this is the third letter we have sent you reminding you that your January payment is past due. Either pay immediately or we'll snatch it off your head.
Let them snatch it. We'll have warm weather pretty soon. Let's see. What's this? Oh, this is from the California Bank. It's another letter about that loan.
What are you going to do, boss?
I'm going to turn them down. Now, let's see. This is funny. Here's one from the barber shop on the corner. Dear Mr. Benny, we are writing to all of our customers who got shaved last Saturday. Are you missing an ear? P.S. If not called for in 30 days, we will put it with our collection. Is there anything else, Rochester?
Just a circular. You won't be interested in it.
Well, let me see it. Now is the time to buy a new car. We're making very liberal allowances on trade-ins. Hey, you know, Rochester, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea if I traded in my Maxwell and maybe get a new... I'll answer it, Rochester. You can take the mail up to my room.
Oh, hello, Jack.
Mary, come on in.
Well, what job have you got picked out for me? Cleaning out your garage or mowing the lawn?
Well, you can't move the lawn, I know that. The very first line. She just got here. Mary, I don't know what you're talking about. You're only supposed to be on my show. Huh?
I know, but I won't get paid for February unless I do some extra work.
Oh. Well, I stopped that last year when you fell off the roof into the tar bucket, you know. Say, Mary, I just got this circular from an automobile company, and I've been thinking maybe I ought to trade in my car and buy another one.
Well, it's about time. What are you going to get? An Essex or a Stutz?
Oh, don't be funny. I'm going to get a real... Come in. Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello.
Come on in, kid.
Thanks. How do you feel, Mr. Benny?
Fine.
How's everything going?
All right.
You know, I wasn't going to come over today, but there's something I think you ought to know.
What's that?
I'm suing you for $50,000.
What?
Dennis, what's this all about? Why are you suing Mr. Benny?
Well, because last week on his radio show where millions of people could hear, he called me stupid.
Well, Dennis, why are you suing me now? For years I've been calling you stupid.
Well, I want to be addressed with dignity. My name is Dennis S. Day.
Well, what does the S stand for?
I told you I'd lose my case.
I thought so.
Well, anyway, after I collect the $50,000 from you, I'm suing someone else who called me stupid.
Who's that?
My lawyer.
Look, Dennis, I don't want to hear any more of this silly talk about suing people. Instead of that, let me hear the song you're going to sing on Sunday's program.
Okay.
What's the name of it?
Sweet Sue.
Now cut that out! Just sing your song. Dennis, that was beautiful, and I like the song very, very much. Now, why don't you just run along?
Oh, I can't leave now. I got to go under your house and spray for termites.
What?
This is February, and I'd like my full salary.
All right, Dennis, but this time crawl out when you're through. Don't wait for Groundhog Day. Say, Mary.
Gee, that's my uncle's name.
What's your uncle's name?
Groundhog Day.
Look, Dennis, just get under the house.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hiya, Jackson. I'm calling from the country club, and I thought maybe you'd come out and play some golf.
Well, I don't think I can today, Phil. You see, I'm going out and buy a new car.
Operator, you gave me the wrong number.
She did not. It's me. It's me. I am going to buy a car.
Oh. What kind of car are you going to get, Jackson?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking of getting a Cadillac.
Operator. Why can't I get
You got the right number. Phil, I told you it's me. You asked me if I wanted to play golf. I told you I couldn't. Why don't you call Remley?
I called Remley. He's here right now.
Oh, Frankie's with you, eh?
Yeah, he's sitting over at the table drinking a glass of milk.
Operator! Somebody else is on the phone.
No, Jackson, it's me.
It's me. Oh. Well, what's this about Frankie drinking milk?
Doctor's orders. Drinking too much bourbon.
Oh.
And that caused a shortage of calcium in his system.
Uh-huh.
So the doctor made him drink milk.
Oh, so he could get more calcium?
Yeah, that'll make his teeth stronger.
Why does he want to strengthen his teeth?
So he can pull the corks out of bourbon bottles.
What?
You can't gum them things, you know.
I know. Phil, goodbye.
Hey, wait, say, Jackson.
What?
I know it's February, but do you mind if I paint your house in April?
Yes, that'll be all right.
And then I'll move the lawn.
No, I won't. So long. Mary, that was Phil. He wanted me to play golf.
I know. Say, Jack, if you're really serious about trading in your car, you better do it now.
Now?
Yeah.
Well, Mary, maybe I ought to first... Dennis, quiet down there. Mary, do you really think I should trade my car in?
Yes, and I know you. If you put it off, you'll never do it.
Well...
Well, Jack, if you do it now, I'll go with you. Come on, let's go.
Well, all right. Maybe I can get a good trade-in. Rochester, get my car out, will you please?
Yes, sir.
Rochester, the traffic's pretty heavy. Take it easy.
Jack, what kind of a car do you think you'll get?
Well, I'm not sure. All of the new models look so nice, and they have so many novel features. You know, Mary, maybe I ought to get a Nash. I like the way the seats make up into beds. What are you laughing at?
You'll have the only car in the country that takes in boarders.
I wasn't thinking of that, Mary. I just thought that...
Hey, boss, how long have we been driving?
About 14 minutes.
Then I better find a service station fast.
A service station? What's wrong, Rochester?
Nothing yet, but every time this car drives 15 minutes, the radiator heats up and...
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Rochester, did all that water come from the radiator?
It ain't from the little white cloud that cries.
Rochester, what does the water gauge say?
Have faith in all kinds of weather.
Now stop that and pull over. Well, I guess we'll just have to sit here a few minutes now until it cools off.
Say, Emily, isn't that Jack Benny over there?
Where?
Over there in that Stanley steamer.
Martha, that isn't a Stanley steamer. It's a Maxwell that blew its top.
Then it is my dream man. Steady, girl. Steady.
You really have a crush on him, haven't you?
Yes. Did you see him on his last television show?
Uh-huh.
When he choked Barbara Stanwyck. How I wish it had been me.
You know, Martha, he does his next television show 2 weeks from today.
In 2 weeks? Oh, I'm sorry you told me. I'll be a nervous wreck waiting.
I know.
And Emily, I've got a confession to make. This month, I sent Mr. Benny a Valentine poem.
Did he get it?
He must have. I put it in my laundry bundle.
In your laundry bundle? I'll bet he didn't even answer it.
He did, too. He wrote, "Your lovely poem made me shake and shiver. And starting March 1st, we pick up and deliver."
That was very sweet. Well, come on, Martha, or we'll be late for the wrestling matches.
Oh, yes.
Rochester, the car should be cool enough now. Let's go.
Jack, this street we're coming to is Figueroa. That's Automobile Row.
Yeah, turn right here, Rochester.
Yes, sir.
Gosh, look at all the automobile dealers on this street. The smiling Irishman,
The Lucky Dutchman, Madman Muntz, Psychiatric Sam, Wild Man Pritchard. Ah, here's the place we want. Just Plain Bill. Stop in front of this place, Rochester. Come on, Mary. I'm going to look at the new cars first.
Okay. Gosh, Jack, they certainly have some beautiful cars on display here.
Yeah.
How do you do? May I help you?
Yes, I'm thinking of buying a new car.
Well, you've come to the right place. Were you thinking of any particular type?
Well, this car here looks awfully nice.
Yes, Jack, it's really a sporty-looking number.
Get inside and see how roomy it is.
Okay. See, it sure is comfortable. And say, what are these buttons here?
Oh, those are for the windows. I'll show you how they work.
Gee.
Didn't you know the new cars had automatic window lifts?
He didn't even know they had windows.
Mary, please. What other new features do they have?
I'm glad you asked that.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is the only car on the market that comes equipped with the Dynaflex Superflowing Unijet Turbo Vasculator, which is synchro-meshed with the multi-coil hydrotension duo vacuum dynamometer.
Gosh. What does that do for the car?
It empties the ashtray.
Well, that's quite a feature. Do you think I ought to get this car, Mary?
Oh, certainly. I wouldn't think of having a car that's not equipped with a Dynaflex Superflowing Unijet Turbovasculator, which is synchro-meshed with a multi-coil hydrotension duo vacuum dynamometer.
That she got right, but she moved the lawn. You know, the more I see of this car, the more I like it. But tell me, Mr.
Call me Plain Bill.
Well, look, Plain Bill. What are all these other buttons for?
Well, they're for the heater, the lights, and the top.
Uh-huh. But what's this red button for?
Oh, that red button is for emergencies.
Emergencies?
Yes. Like, if you stall the car on the railroad tracks and a train is coming at 100 miles an hour, you press the red button.
And that gets the car off the tracks?
No, it puts a tag on your big toe.
You know, Jack, this is one of the prettiest convertibles I've ever seen. Why don't you take it?
I think I will, Mary. Tell me, Plain Bill, what's the price of this car?
$4,200.
Say, mister, do the windshield wipers on this car squirt water when you press the button?
Yes.
Well, squirt some on him. He fainted.
I didn't faint, Mary. Just that $4,200 is a lot of money.
Oh, but don't forget we do make liberal allowances on trade-in.
Well, my car's right outside. Suppose you come along with us and appraise it.
Oh, I'll be happy to. If you'll pardon me for just a moment, I'll go and get my appraisal book.
Certainly. You know, Mary, maybe you're right about my getting another car. After all, I've had my Maxwell.
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Shall we go?
Yes, Plain Bill.
Now, which one of these cars is yours?
This is it, right here.
Oh, you're joking.
Well, I'll admit it doesn't look like much right now, but a little paint and polish, and she'll be as good as new.
What did you get, boss? A convertible or a sedan?
Well, nothing yet. This gentleman's going to praise ours. Now, Plain Bill, my car has a lot of advantages that the new cars haven't got.
Yeah, if you like tea, it boils water every 15 minutes.
Oh, stop. This man is a good judge of cars. Now, Plain Bill, get in and I'll show you how it runs. Come on, Mary. Start the car, Rochester.
Yes, sir.
Gee, the motor seems to be laboring a little harder than usual.
Jack, it's February.
Oh, yes, yes. Try it again, Rochester. Ah, there it goes.
You want me to drive around the block, boss?
Just a second. If I'm going to appraise this car, I'd better drive.
No, I'll drive. You shovel the coal.
Never mind. You better let him drive Plain. He's more... he's more used to it.
Well, it is irregular, but okay.
See, I told you, it rides very smoothly, doesn't it?
Oh, it's not bad.
Now, Plain Bill, how much of a trade-in do you think you can give me on my car?
Well, let me see. There's a little rubber left on the tires. The body needs a paint job. The upholstery isn't too bad. The motor runs. Look, would the deal include the car's radio?
Yes. Now, how much will you allow me on the car, including the radio?
$3.
What? I wouldn't think of trading in this car for $3. It's perfect mechanically. They don't make cars like this today. Everything built to last for years and give you the most excellent service. And
Plain Bill.
Yes?
Lemon or cream?
Lemon in mine, Mary. Now, Bill, all kidding aside, how much will you allow me on my car?
I told you $3, and that's all I'm going to give you for this piece of junk.
Junk? That settles it. Rochester, stop the car. Plain Bill, I'll thank you to get out.
It will be a pleasure. Goodbye.
Rochester, take me home.
You know, boss, if you're not going to get a new car, why don't you have this one fixed up? Put some of those modern things on it.
Like what?
Like the Dynaflex Superflowing Unit Jet Turbo Vasculator, which is synchronized with the multi-coil, hydro tension, dual vacuum, dynamometer.
No, then I just have to go out and buy an ashtray. Step on it, Rochester. I want to get home.
Jack, are you going to stop off at any other car dealers?
No, I've made up my mind. I'm going home. This one will have to do until we...
Jack, what happened? Your hair is gone.
It's my fault, Miss Livingston. I never should have driven by Max Factors.
All right, let him keep it.
Program starring Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, once again we're broadcasting from Palm Springs, California. This being such a romantic spot, I'd like to make the opening introduction with a little poem.
A poem?
Nestled in the hills, far away from care, is a place we go to breathe the desert air. And there, out by the pool, far from strife and toil, is our blue-eyed star selling suntan oil. And here he is, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking, and Don, since we're in a poetic mood, I've written a poem for you, too.
Oh, you have?
Yes. I did not like your jingle, and if one more joke you tell, it's Bon Voyage, Don Wilson, and Welcome Home, Von Zell. So let's not have any more of your poems, eh, Henry Wadsworth, fat fellow?
Now, wait a minute, Jack. If you get fresh with me, I'll follow you around all day and keep you in the shade.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Well, anyway, it's sure good to get back to Palm Springs, isn't it, Don?
Ah, yes, Jack. I always have a wonderful time here.
I do, too, particularly because a fellow can have such privacy here. You know, Don, yesterday I passed a big crowd in front of the drugstore, and not one person turned around or even bothered to look at me.
Really? Well, Jack, why was there such a crowd gathered?
They were getting Eddie Cantor's autograph. Imagine.
But, Jack, if you say people here have so much privacy, why did they ask Eddie Cantor for his autograph?
They didn't ask him.
They didn't?
No. Don, when a man stops you on the street, sings 2 choruses of Ida, then stamps his name on your forehead, there's nothing you can do about it. What a negro.
What a meager beaver.
Jack, you're just mad at Eddie because he beat you on the golf course yesterday.
Sure, but he wouldn't have beaten me if he'd have played fair.
Fair?
Yes, imagine this, Don. When we both got on the last green, just as I was getting ready to putt, he put down a dime to mark his ball.
What's wrong with that?
He divided my point of interest. Then when I missed the putt, I got so mad I took a swing at the dime and sliced it right into my pocket. The first hole in one I ever made. Anyway, Don, I'm glad you mentioned golf because tonight our program is dedicated to the formal opening of the new Tamarisk Country Club here in Palm Springs. And it's really one of the most beautiful
pardon
golf...
me, but does this dull twosome mind if a funny man plays through?
Oh, hiya, folks. Well, look who's here, Sir Thomas Beecham. Say, Phil, Don and I were just talking about Tamarisk, the beautiful new golf course. Since you're such a good golfer, Phil, you'll love it.
Yeah, I know, Jackson. I played in the tournament out there yesterday. It is. It's a great course.
I thought I saw you out there yesterday, Phil. You were playing with some of your musicians, weren't you?
No.
Well, I saw Remley, Sammy, and Fletcher going around the course with you.
Yeah, but they weren't playing. Remley was carrying my bag.
Well, what was Sammy doing?
He was carrying Remley.
Well, what was Fletcher doing?
He was carrying the stuff that made it necessary for Sammy to carry Remley.
Oh, yes, Remley is your handicap.
He ain't no water hazard.
I know.
Hey, Jackson, how about you and me playing out at Tamarisk someday?
Okay, Phil, maybe we can make a match.
Yeah, what do you usually go around then?
Well, my handicap is... Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Don, watch me get him this time. Phil, ask me that again, will you?
Ask you what again?
What do you usually go around in?
Shorts or slacks, depending on the weather. Sammy may be carrying Remley, but you're carrying this program.
Phil, if that joke is carrying the program, I'd rather dragged a little bit. Anyway, I'll play golf with you anytime you want to.
Okay, Jackson, how much you want to bet?
I don't want to bet anything. All I want you to do is every time we get on the green, mark your ball with a dime.
A dime? Why?
I got a slice that'll make me a fortune. Say, Don, if you like to play a Tamarisk sometime, I'll get you...
Hey, Jackson, I heard you and Don reciting poetry before.
So what?
Hey, I got one that's a fifth.
A poem?
Yeah. It's about the weather that we had yesterday. Listen to this. I was getting some sun. Then I went inside, because the little white cloud sat down and cried.
Isn't that cute? That's very cute. Well, I was pretty good, you know. I expected some... Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Hello, everybody.
Well, Dennis, I hope you're having as much fun in Palm Springs as we are.
I sure am, but boy, am I tired.
Tired? What have you been doing?
Well, last night I went to the movies and I had to stand for 2 hours.
That crowded, huh?
No, there was plenty of room.
Then why'd you have to stand in the movies?
I went to a drive-in and I didn't have a car.
Now, wait a minute, Dennis. How did you get into a drive-in without a car?
Oh, I was carrying an umbrella and they thought I was a convertible.
Oh, stop being silly. What's that on your nose?
A windshield wiper.
What? Now cut that out! Windshield wiper. I suppose that thing on your forehead is your license number.
No, Eddie Cantor's autograph.
Oh, yeah. Now, Dennis, stop being silly and answer me. Are you having a good time?
Oh, I'll say. Friday night I went to the Chi-Chi and saw Sally Rand. I never laughed so hard in all my life.
You know, Don, the weather here has been so beautiful today. I think
Wait a minute, hold it. Let's go back here a minute. Look, didn't you listen to what this kid just said?
I listened to it, heard it, and ignored it.
Well, I ain't going to ignore it. Dennis, you went to the Chi-Chi and saw Sally Rand's act?
Uh-huh.
The Sally Rand?
Uh-huh.
And when you finally saw Sally Rand's act, you, laughed?
Yeah, I was sitting up so close those fans tickled.
Don't look to me for sympathy, Phil. Years of experience have taught me that the only way to get along with Dennis have nothing more to do with him than is necessary. Like this, for instance. Now, Dennis, we're doing a program and you have to do a song.
Yes, sir.
What song are you going to sing?
The date boats are coming.
You mean shrimp boat.
This is Palm Springs, Bud.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and sing. That was Mistake, sung by Dennis Day and accompanied by Phil Harris and his stumbling tumbleweed orchestra. And now, folks...
Hold it, Melvin. Just a minute. Just slow up a minute.
Huh?
I mean, look, I don't mind so much when we're at home, but when we're out of town, let's don't be making insulting remarks about the orchestra, huh?
Well, Phil, I got a right to make comments about your band. After all, who's the star of this show?
Well, when I see my paycheck, I know it ain't me.
Oh, stop complaining.
I'm not complaining, Jackson. It's just that I'd like to pay income tax like everybody else. What? They don't even think I'm a citizen.
Phil, the only reason people don't think you're a citizen is because with that bottle of Lord Calvert in your hand all the time, you look like an Englishman. Such a long line for such a little laugh.
So don't argue with me about money, salary.
I'll get it. Hello?
I have a long-distance call for Jack Benny.
This is Jack Benny.
It's Collect. Hello? Hello?
I'm here. A collect call, huh? Operator, find out who's calling.
Just a moment. Mr. Benny will not accept the charges till he knows who's calling.
Tell him it's Lana Turner.
Rochester. Rochester, I thought you'd be down here by now. Where are you calling from?
Pomona.
Pomona? What'd you stop there for?
I got a flat tire.
Oh, that's too bad.
No, that's good. It was laying in the road and it's better than the one we had on.
Oh.
If I find 3 more, I'll be there by morning.
Well, you better be here by morning. I'm going to play golf, and I want you to caddy for me.
Oh, boss, I hate to caddy for you at Palm Springs.
Now, stop complaining. Tamarisk is a very level course. There's nothing tough about it.
Nothing for you, but how about me? I have to carry a golf bag, 12 clubs, a basket of sandwiches, a gallon of lemonade, a first aid kit, and a parasol.
So what?
You don't need a caddy, you need a burro.
Oh, Rochester, you don't carry so much.
I don't. Remember what happened last time I went out loaded down like that?
What happened?
An old prospector tied a rope around my neck and led me off into the mountains.
Well, why'd you go with him?
I couldn't see where I was until he unloaded me.
Stop making things up. Anyway, I'm going to play golf in the morning, and I want you to caddy.
Okay, I'll do it, but do me a favor this time, will you?
What is it?
If we lose a ball, let's forget it. Those bloodhounds are hard to handle.
Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, in honor of the opening of Palm Springs' newest golf course, Tamarisk, we are going to do...
Jack, before we go any further, I must tell you something, and I know you're going to be surprised.
Surprised? What is it, Don?
There's a friend of yours who also belongs to Tamarisk, and he'd like to come on and say a few words.
A friend of mine? Is it Mr. Anderson, the president of Tamarisk?
No.
Well, is it Ben Hogan, the pro at Tamarisk?
No.
Well, who is it?
Danny Kaye. Come on in, Danny.
Danny Kaye. Well, hello, Danny.
Hello, Jack Benny.
But, Danny, this is such a surprise coming right out on my program. It's...
Oh, stop stuttering. I'm not going to charge you for it.
Oh.
Now, Jack, the reason I'm here is, well, because every time you come to Palm Springs, you always do an informal show, isn't that right?
That's right.
Well, some of the boys at the club cooked up an idea that I'm sure you're going to like.
What is it?
Well, we decided to form a quartet and sing the song you wrote.
My song?
Mm-hmm.
When you say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you.
Suddenly I'm sick.
What?
Oh, anyway, Jack, the other 3 fellows are out outside. Can I call them in?
3 fellows? Who are they?
Yeah, well, Frank Sinatra, George Burns, and Groucho Marx. Come on out, fellas.
George, Frankie, and Groucho. Hello, fellas.
Hello. That's brilliant dialogue. Huh?
Well, welcome to the show, fellas. And if you say the magic word, you get a bottle of suntan oil.
Say, Jack, that reminds me. Jack?
What?
That reminds me. That bottle of suntan oil you sold me was much too greasy, and boy, was I embarrassed.
Why? What happened?
Well, yesterday when I put some on, I slipped right out of my suit.
No kidding.
Look, fellas, I came here to sing, so let's do it and get it over with, okay?
Okay.
When I say I beg your pardon.
Hold it.
Lousy. That's me.
I may sing lousy, but I'm grammatically correct.
I'm sorry.
I'm Groucho.
Now, look, fellas, come on now. Let's sing Jack's song. And, fellas, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your coming over to do it. No one but real friends, real pals would give up a Sunday afternoon just to come over here and do this wonderful
Jack.
song. What?
Shut up.
Oh. All right, fellas, let's take it. Now, what key we're going to sing it in, Danny? It'll help if we all take different ones.
Look, boy.
All right, fellas, let's go. Can we have a nice introduction, please? Say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you. When you ask me to forgive you, I'll return. Like the swallows at Serrano, return to Capistrano. For you, my heart will always, always yearn, will always. When you see that you are sorry, then I will understand. Beneath the harvest moon will pledge our love. And now, honey child, don't be listening to anybody else. So we're parting, going back to whence we started. And sweetheart, I'll come back to you. When I see a busy party, and then I'll come back to you. Frank? So, my darling, though we've parted, come back to whence we've started. And sweetheart, I'll come back too. Sweetheart, I'll come back too. Sweetheart, I'll come back too.
Good night, everybody. We're a little late.
Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to take you out to Jack's house. He's just finishing dressing.
There, I'm almost through. Get me my shirt, Rochester.
Yes, sir. Do you want that solid gold cufflink you got from Mr. Ronald Coleman last Christmas?
Wait a minute, Rochester. Mr. Coleman only gave me one cufflink?
He didn't give it to you. He swung at you and it fell out of his shirt.
Oh, yes. If Benita hadn't grabbed him, I'd have had them both. Rochester, get my other cufflinks out of the bureau.
Yes, sir. What drawer do you keep them in, boss?
Well, you ought to know. You put them away most of the time.
Yeah, but you keep putting all kinds of junk in your dresser. Well, let's try this top drawer. Nope. There's just socks in here, a couple of handkerchiefs, and What's this?
Let me see that. Oh, for heaven's sake. I forgot to return it when I left New York. It's the key to my room at the Acme Plaza. I don't know why they gave me a key. My room didn't have a door on it. No wonder they call it New York's friendliest hotel. Now, see if you can find those cufflinks.
Okay, I'll try this drawer here. No, nothing but shirts here. Nothing in this drawer but underwear.
Hey, maybe I threw those cufflinks in with my underwear.
I'll flip the flap and see.
Well, hurry up and find them. Miss Livingston's waiting in the den for me. She's going to drive me to the studio for my TV show.
Oh, they weren't in there. I'll try the bottom drawer.
Oh, Mary, will you answer the phone, please?
Yes, Jack. Hello?
Hell, I was expecting a shrimp boat and I got the dream boat.
Is that you, Phil?
This ain't no phone call from a stranger. Hey, by the way, Livy, Alice and me had a couple of people over at the house Friday night and we called you, but you were out.
I know. Jack took me to the movies.
Jackson took you to the movies?
Uh-huh.
Passes Dutch, or do we have an item for Ripley?
No, Phil. He really took me. Do you want to talk to Jack?
Yeah.
Well, here he comes now.
Who is it, Mary?
Remley Straight Man.
Oh, I'll talk to him. Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm all right, Phil. I guess I'm a little nervous about my television show tonight.
Well, why don't you do what I do to calm down?
What's that?
I have two of my musicians go around with me, and every time I feel a little nervous, one of them gives me a drink of bourbon.
Oh. What's the other guy for?
He's there to make me nervous.
Oh, stop. Oh, what did you call for?
Hey, look, Jackson, I've been thinking of making some changes in my band.
Well, good.
Hey, you know, it's good. You don't even know what I want to do.
Phil, any change you make in your orchestra, even if it's only their socks and shirts, will be an improvement. You want to know something, Phil? Your musicians could play 5 numbers and still stump the experts on What's My Line. Now what is it you want to do with your band?
Well, for the past few years, Bagby, my piano player, has been on the left side of my orchestra, and I've been thinking of moving him over to the right side.
Why?
Because that's where the piano is.
Well, try it, Phil. It may not sound good, but it'll look better. Anything else, Phil?
No, so long, Jackson.
Goodbye. You know, Mary, I can't understand it. I took you to the movies. Everybody's making a big thing out of it.
I can't understand it either. We were walking down the street, you found a $5 bill, and you certainly can do what you want with it.
Of course.
Oh, hello, Mr. Benny.
Dennis, I didn't know you were here.
I just came over to wish you luck on your TV show.
Oh, thanks, kid.
Are you going to have any guest stars?
Yes, I'm going to have Burns and Allen.
Say, that ought to be funny. He's my favorite comedian.
George Burns?
Oh, Fred Allen.
Look, Dennis, I'm talking about Gracie Allen, not Fred. Gracie Allen. That's George Burns' wife.
Oh. Say, Mr. Benny, I just thought of something.
What?
I wish you'd get married.
You do? Why?
I'd like to hit you with an old shoe.
Dennis, leave me alone. Will you leave me alone?
Jack, don't upset yourself. Why don't you ignore him?
Yeah, ignore me.
Dennis, let me ask you something. What's come over you lately?
Why, what do you mean?
Well, for a couple of years up to last June, you were acting pretty fresh. Since then, you've been very nice and polite. Just lately, you started in acting smart aleck.
What happened? I've got 2 shows again.
I know, but you've still got a job to do on my show. Let me hear the song you're going to sing, will you?
Okay.
Dennis, that song is still wonderful, and there's nothing I would like more than to hear you sing another one, but I'm afraid I'll have to say goodbye.
Why, are you leaving?
No, you are. Goodbye.
Jack, you didn't have to push him.
Mary, sometimes that kid drives me nuts.
But look, Jack, don't pay any attention to him.
Look, how can I help it? Last Monday, I was awakened out of a sound sleep by the telephone. When I answered, it was Dennis. He wanted to know what time it was. I said, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. He said, well, this is no time to call anybody, and hung up. You tell me not to pay any attention to him.
Well, Jack, forget about it. You always get yourself all worked up.
I know, but I got a TV show to do tonight. He has to come in and make me nervous.
Look, Jack, he's gone now, so why don't you go to your room and take a nap? I'll wake you up when you have to go to the studio.
Okay, Mary. What'll you do?
Oh, I'll stay here in the library and read a book.
Okay. But don't let me sleep too long, will you?
Oh, I won't. Go ahead, Jack. Gee, Jack is certainly on edge today. Well, maybe the nap will do him good. Let's see, what book can I read? Oh, gosh, Jack has a lot of them. Let's see. Oh, here's one. How to Make Money Raising Soybeans. Oh, here's another one. How to Make Money Selling Homemade Blintzes. Here's another one. How to Make Money Trapping Lizards. What's this? How to spend money and enjoy it. I'll bet that little gem never saw the light of day. Oh, here's one I've never seen before. My career as a hospital nurse. I think I'll read this. My career as a hospital nurse, Chapter 1. I am one of the legion of women who have been called Angels of Mercy. I am a nurse. My name is Aura Meissen. I worked at the admittance desk of the city hospital. And, like all nurses, I had a boyfriend. A young intern named Dr. Harris. My story begins about a year ago. It was a quiet day in the hospital.
Dr. Jones wanted in maternity. Dr. Jones wanted in maternity.
Hello, Aura.
Hello, Dr. Harris.
Would you do me a favor? Please send my stethoscope out and have it fixed.
Well, certainly. What's wrong with it?
I don't know. I keep hearing Guy Lombardo.
I'll take care of it for you, Doctor.
Thank you. And by the way, Aura, would you mind if we postponed our date for the movies until tomorrow?
No, not at all, but why?
Well, I'm terribly tired. I was up all night in the emergency ward treating a bunch of drunks.
Really?
Yes. Oh, why must people drink like that?
It is a shame.
Dr. Jones wanted in maternity. Dr. Jones, report to maternity immediately.
By the way, Dr. Harris, how's your patient in room 312?
He died.
Oh. Well, how about your patient in 419?
He died.
And what about the case you had in Ward 5?
Yep. Well, you'll have to excuse me now, Aura. I'm late.
For what?
I'm taking a course in embalming.
Dr. Jones, hurry to maternity. Dr. Jones, please hurry. Dr. Jones, please. Dr. Jones, you're a slowpoke.
Dr. Harris left, and even though he hadn't told me, I knew the real reason he hadn't taken me to the movies. He was spending his evenings doing research with a left-handed guitar player. Later that afternoon, I was still at the admittance desk when something happened
that was to change the course of my whole life. He walked in.
Excuse me, nurse.
Yes, sir?
My family doctor sent me here for a consultation with your famous specialist, Dr. Heinrich von Schmiercase.
Very well, sir. I'll have to fill out this admittance card. Your name?
My name is James.
What's your last name?
James. My name is James James.
Where were you born?
Pango Pango.
Where do you live now?
Walla Walla.
What disease do you have?
Berry.
And what is your occupation?
I'm an announcer on Double or Nothing.
I see. Now, how tall are you?
5'11".
Your weight?
158.
Color of eyes? Oh, they're blue, aren't they?
Bluer than the thumb of an Eskimo hitchhiker.
Now, have you been to any other specialists?
I've been to hundreds of them, but they never help me. I feel terrible.
Well, what are your symptoms?
I hear music, and there's no one there. I smell blossoms, and the trees are bare. And don't tell me I'm in love. I'm sick as a dog.
Oh. Now, just a moment while I fill this out.
Dr. Smith is wanted in the operating room. Dr. Mason is wanted in the consultation room. Dr. Ross is wanted in the kennel. Fido knows best. Woof!
Very well, Mr. James. You may see Dr. von Schmiercase now, right through that door.
Thank you.
And you consider yourself fortunate. Dr. von Schmiercase is the world's greatest specialist in diagnostician.
I know. I'll go in and see him. Gee, what a big office. Well, that must be Dr. von Schmiercase over there in the corner. Must be getting to operate. He's putting on rubber gloves. Excuse me. I'm Mr. James, and I have berry. Please tell me. Please. What should I do? I don't know. Will you have to operate? I don't know. Will I live? I don't know. You don't know anything. What kind of a doctor are you? I ain't no doctor. Then why are you wearing those rubber gloves? I don't want to leave fingerprints. I'm robbing the joint. Oh. Well, I'm sorry. Where can I hear a case? I don't know. Oh, never mind. I'll go find him myself. Here's his office. Dr. Heinrich von Schmiercase. Excuse me, Dr. von Schmiercase. I'm Mr. James.
Ach du Liebe, wie geht's, Landsmann? Was ist los?
Well, doctor,
Don't worry. First, please, the examination. Stick out, please, the tongue.
There.
Now close, please, the eyes.
There.
Good. Now lift, please, the left foot off the floor and hold it up.
Okay.
Fine. Now lift the right foot off the floor, too.
Okay.
Ooh. Ach, just as I taught dizzy spells.
But, doctor...
I'm afraid we will have to operate.
Operate? What are you going to take out?
Oh, don't worry. We'll think of something. We will operate early tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
Why so early?
Incision before dawn. Oh, Dr. von Schmiercase, you may not be a sharpest, but you sure get corny. Now, don't worry, Mr. James.
You rang for me, Doctor?
Oh, yes. Have Dr. Harris prepare this man for surgery, and I will want you to assist me in the operation.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
As I prepared the patient for surgery, I noticed that he had his will tattooed on his chest. I was amazed when I read it. He left everything to himself. scarcely ready for the operation when the patient began to get restless.
Nurse, where's Dr. Von Schmiercase?
He'll be here in just a minute. Dr. Harris and I will get you ready for him.
Oh, nurse, hand me the anesthetic.
Anesthetic.
Cotton.
Cotton.
Sponge.
Sponge.
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Chaser.
What's going on here?
Quiet. Here comes Dr. Von Schmiercase.
Hi-ho, it's off to work I go. Well, how's my little patient?
I'm nervous, Doctor.
Oh, don't worry. Now I'll start. First, nurse, hand me, please, the iodine. I'll have to paint his stomach.
What are you painting on my stomach?
A smile. This operation is being televised.
That's very funny.
If you knew what a lousy doctor I was, you wouldn't be laughing. Now we will the operation commence. Nurse, hold the ether to his nose.
Well, I'm sorry, we have no ether.
Well, tighten his necktie.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's enough. He's starting to look like Eddie Cantor. Now I will operate. Now, all you interns, watch carefully so you will learn something. And please, no applause till the nurse holds up the card. And now I take the scalpel and make the first incision. There. Now, before I make the second incision, I would like to say a few words on behalf of my sponsor. My sponsor is the author and publisher of a book called How to Avoid Paying Income Tax. The price of this book is $200. For this money, we not only include a copy of the book, but we also send you fruit every visiting day. Now, back to the operation. I will make the second incision. There we are.
For heaven's sake, Doctor, I've never seen such a tremendous incision.
Yeah, and it's got me worried.
Why?
Where will we ever find a Band-Aid that long? Oh, well, I'll worry about that later.
Dr. Smith, come to the office and bring your bag. Dr. McDermott, come to the office and bring your bag. Dr. Wagner, come to the office and bring your bag. Train leaving on track 12 for Azusa and Goop.
Even though all the doctors had gone to the great festival, the operation was a success, and I sat by the patient till he recovered consciousness. When he did, he turned to me tenderly and said,
For heaven's sake, Mary, you let me sleep so long I'll be late for my television show.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. I got so absorbed in this book.
Well, what am I going to do? Here we are in Beverly Hills. My TV program goes on in just 2 minutes.
Well, don't worry, Jack. Come on, we'll make it. Let's go. Well, here we are at CBS.
It's amazing what you can do with sound effects, isn't it? Come on, Mary, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, in about 1 minute from now, I will be doing my 4th television show of this season. I'm happy to say that on tonight's TV program, I'm having as my guests George Burns and Gracie Allen. In the profession, this is what we call a reciprocal agreement. You see, they come on my program this week, and all next month I do their laundry. But I'll be seeing you. Good night, folks.
Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, since Jack has been in television, he wants to keep his weight down. At the moment, he's at his home in Beverly Hills in a steam cabinet trying to reduce.
Rochester, I can stand it a little hotter. Turn up the steam, will you?
Yes, sir.
That's enough. Not too hot. Gee, I'm glad I bought this steam cabinet. How long have I been in here?
About 10 minutes. I hope you're not taking too much.
Well, what do the instructions say?
Let's see. I'll read them. Men up to 20 years old stay in cabinet not more than a half hour.
A half hour?
Men up to 25 years, no more than 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Men up to 30 years of age, no more than 15 minutes.
15.
Men up to...
What are you mm-mm about?
According to this chart, I should have just dipped you in like a tea bag.
Oh, stop. Gee, it's awfully hot in this cabinet. I think I'll get out.
I better not open it for a couple of minutes.
Why, haven't I had enough?
Yeah, but the potatoes aren't done yet.
Oh, darn it.
Don't blame me, boss. It was your own idea. As long as we had the heat, you didn't want to waste it.
Well...
What a time I had talking you out of holding that leg of lamb on your lap.
I was just trying to economize, that's all. Anyway, it's too hot. Open it up, will you? I'm getting out.
Yes, sir.
Phew. Gee, it's good to get out of here.
Uh-oh, I'm afraid the heat was on a little too high.
Why, am I red?
Boss, if you had a pitchfork in your hand, you'd scare me to death.
Well, I feel fine. Hand me my robe, Rochester.
Yes, sir.
I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Jack.
Oh, hello, Mary.
Jack, the reason I called is that Wednesday I'm giving a little party at my house, and I want to know if you can come.
Well, certainly, Mary. Thanks. Who else are you having?
Well, I'm going to ask the whole cast of our show. Your producer, your writers, and also your...
My writers?
Yes, I thought you might like to have them there.
Why?
You want to be the life of the party, don't you?
Oh, yes. They are funny looking.
Well, I better hang up. I've got a lot of people to call. Bye, Jack.
So long, Mary, and thanks. Rochester, next Wednesday night, Miss Livingston is giving a party, so I won't... Rochester!
Here I am, boss.
Where were you?
I heard the postman, so I went to get the mail.
Oh. What came?
Just some bills circular and your copy of Look magazine.
Oh, let me see it. Hey, Rochester, there's a picture of you and me on the cover.
On the cover of Look? Let me see it, boss. Yeah!
What are you laughing at?
I bet I'm the only man in the world who ever had his picture on the cover of a magazine and couldn't afford to buy it.
Oh, you do all right.
I don't know. I just bought a toothbrush on installment plan.
Installment? What would that mean? Well, that's not my fault. If you saved your... Rochester, see who that is while I finish getting dressed.
Yes, sir.
Sure and begard, 'tis a pleasure to greet such a fine broth of a lad on this day, the likes of which I haven't seen in years. How do you do? How do you do?
Who is it, Rochester?
It ain't Mr. Kitzel.
Well, who is it?
Sure, and 'tis the son of the old sod himself, Dennis Patrick Aloysius Jeremiah McNulty O'Day.
Oh, come on in, Dennis. And look, kid, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. Aren't you a little early with your brogue?
No, I'm practicing. I'll have to talk like this all day tomorrow.
You have to talk like that all day?
Yeah, if you don't, they rip off your shamrock, take a shillelagh, and break all your Morton Downey records.
Oh, well, you know, Dennis, I've always thought that St. Patrick's Day comes at the wrong time of the year.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, how can March 17th be dedicated to the wearing of the green when only 2 days before the government takes it all away from you? Now, Dennis, let's stop talking. Just let me hear the song you're going to do on the program.
Yes, sir.
Hold it, kid. Hello?
Hello, Jack. This is Mary again.
Oh, what is it, Mary?
Well, I called Dennis's house to invite him to my party, and his mother told me he's at your house. Is he there?
Yes. Dennis, Mary wants you on the phone.
Yeah, these dames, they won't let me alone.
Never mind. Just talk to her.
Yes, sir. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Dennis. Look, I'm having a party on Wednesday night. Would you like to come?
On Wednesday?
Yes.
Do you mind if I bring my neighbor, Hetty Lamar?
Your neighbor, Hetty Lamar?
Yeah.
Dennis, I happen to know Hetty Lamar lives in Benedict Canyon, and you live in Westwood.
Oh, yeah, Hetty Lamar's house is right next to mine.
Since when?
Ever since the rain.
All right, Dennis. Bring anyone who floats by.
Gee, thanks, Mary. Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, say, Mr. Benny, when I go to Mary's party, I'm going to bring... Hello?
Dennis, I forgot to tell you something.
What?
Don't drive Jack nuts. Just sing your song.
Okay.
Dennis?
Quiet, I'm going to sing.
Oh, well, go right ahead. Well, Dennis, you certainly picked an appropriate song for St. Patrick's Day. And I might add, Dennis, that as time goes on, your voice gets better and better.
Well, if it's so good, how about a raise?
You know, Dennis, on second thought, instead of singing Glockamore on the program, why don't you sing the song I wrote? When you say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you. I couldn't remember the melody of my own song. My song may not sell any copies, but it sure gets rid of pests. Oh, Rochester. Rochester.
Yes, boss?
I'm awfully hungry. What does my diet say I can have for lunch?
A piece of rye crisp and a hard-boiled egg.
That's all I'm supposed to eat for lunch?
No, you just feel it for lunch. You eat it for dinner.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. That's the strictest diet I have. Come in. Oh, hello, Phil.
Hello, Jackson.
What's the matter, Phil? You sound depressed.
Yeah, I am. I just came back from the doctor.
The doctor? What's wrong?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I became allergic to something, and I broke out in a rash on my back. It's just something awful.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, so I went to the doctor, and every day he's been testing me to find out what I'm allergic to, and today found out.
Well, what are you allergic to?
Alcohol.
No.
Yeah. The only way I can get rid of this itch is to stop drinking entirely.
Oh. Well, what are you going to do?
Grow long fingernails. I'm in for a lot of scratching.
That's what I thought.
Hey, by the way, Jackson, I've been meaning to tell you, I saw you on TV last week. Man, you look wonderful.
Well, thanks, Phil, but I don't deserve all the credit. I had the best makeup man in the country.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's the same one who made up President Truman for his last television speech.
Yeah, hold it a minute. Why would President Truman want to use makeup?
Phil, if you were asking for $8 billion, you'd want to look good, too. Believe me.
Alice would give it to me regardless of how I look.
Well, she can probably... Hello?
Oh, it's me again, Jack.
Oh, what is it now, Mary?
Well, I called Phil's house and nobody answered, and I was wondering if he's over there.
Yes, he is. Just a second. Phil, it's for you. It's Mary.
Oh. Hello, Livy, you doll, you.
Hello, Hambone. Look, Phil, I'm having a party on Wednesday, and I'd like you and Alice to come.
Yeah, okay, Liv, we'll be there. Hey, say, you want me to bring my orchestra boys along, too?
No, Phil, I haven't got room for 36 more people.
What do you mean 36? I only got 18 fellas in my band.
Yeah, what about their parole officers?
Yeah, I almost forgot about them cats. Look, Mary, Mary, can I at least bring Remley?
No.
Sammy, my drummer?
No.
Now, wait a minute. I've got to bring at least one of my boys.
Why?
Somebody's got to scratch my back.
Phil, I don't know what you're talking about, but if your back itches, can't you scratch it yourself?
No, I'll be using both hands to pour the stuff that makes it itch.
Phil, I don't understand. Anyway, will you come to my party?
Natch, I'll be there, Liv. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Mary invited you to the party, too, eh, Phil?
Yeah.
Your lunch is ready, Mr. Benny.
Oh, thanks, Rochester.
Hey, Jackson, I'm kind of hungry. I think I'll stay and have some lunch with you.
Oh. Oh, you want to eat here, huh? When you say I beg your pardon. It works every time. I got the song right that time. When you say I beg your pardon. Gee, I mustn't forget my own melody. Gosh, I'm hungry. These diets are murder. I'm going to eat something. Oh, Rochester. Rochester, come here a minute, will you?
Yes, boss.
Look, Rochester, I'm really hungry. What's in the refrigerator?
Dennis Dave.
What?
When he left, he opened the wrong door.
Oh, well, leave him there for a while. I don't want to hear his explanation of how it happened. Anyway, Rochester, just make me a sandwich out of,
Boss, why are you staring out the window?
What?
Why are you staring out the window?
Those two men. Those two men across the street. They just stepped off the curb and they're coming this way. Yes?
We're from the Income Tax Department.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're the same men who were here last year. Come in. Your name is Mr. Kearns, isn't it?
Yes, and this is my assistant, Mr. Wright.
Wright?
How do you do?
Gentlemen, if you've come about my income tax, I've already sent it in.
Oh, Mr. Benny, we're not here to discuss this year's taxes. We'd like to talk to you again about last year's.
Last year's? I thought that was settled. We went over it so many times. Then when I didn't hear from you again, I assumed that nothing was wrong. I thought that everything was right.
How do you do?
Mr. Benny, we're still trying to help you.
Help me?
And we feel that you must have made a mistake in your last year's return.
A mistake?
Yes. We can't understand how a man who earned over $300,000 could only spend $17 for entertainment.
Well, that's all I spent. I can prove it to you. Rochester, get my books out of my desk drawer, will you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there's no need
I'm going to prove it to you for once and for all.
But, Mr. Benny...
This drawer here on the left?
No, the right.
How do you do?
Now cut that out! For heaven's sake!
Mr. Benny, no one shouts at a tax collector.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Benny, believe me, we're here to help you.
I know.
Yes, we don't think you're taking full advantage of deductible items.
I'm not?
Here are your books, boss.
Thanks.
Now, take your butler, for instance.
You mean Rochester?
Yes. Even though he's your butler, if he assists you in any way pertaining to the production of your radio or television shows or any of your other business activities, then that portion of his pay is deductible.
You mean...
Yes. In other words, under those conditions, you could split his salary.
Split my salary?
Yes.
Gentlemen, they've split infinitism, they've split the atom. But I defy anybody to split my salary.
Rochester, this is no time...
Just a moment, Mr. Benny. Rochester, are you inferring that your salary is that small?
Well, in Santa Anita colloquialism, it starts off pretty good, but something always happens to it coming around the far turn.
What do you mean?
Well, every payday, Mr. Benny sits me down and explains how he has to make certain deductions out of my salary. So much for withholding, so much for unemployment insurance, and so much for Social Security. Then he further explains that what remains is known as take-home pay.
That's right, take-home pay.
Then he points out that I'm living at his home, so he takes it.
Mr. Benny, is that right?
How do you do? I can play that game, too, brother.
Mr. Benny, I just looked in the book that Rochester brought you, and there's an item that interests me.
Which item is that?
This one here. Income from violin engagement, approximately $3.
Yes, I filled in that entry myself.
But why is it approximately $3?
Well, I was playing my violin at the opening of a butcher shop, and they gave me 2 pounds of meat.
They gave you 2 pounds of meat for playing your violin?
They didn't give it to him. Somebody hit him with a round steak.
Well, I brought it home. What's the difference?
That brings up a point, Mr. Benny. If you receive revenue playing your violin, then the money you spend on its upkeep and repair is deductible.
It is?
Yes. You see, Mr. Benny, we're trying to help you.
I know.
For instance, Mr. Benny, how many strings do you buy for your violin? Rosin, pegs, bridges, repairing your bow, and so forth.
Well, I don't know. You see, I get everything through my violin teacher. He keeps track of all that.
Well, in that case, in order to help you, would you mind if we talk to your violin teacher?
No, not at all. His name is Professor LeBlanc. His address is 6212 Iman Avenue. It's on the other side of town.
We'll find it. Come on, Joe.
Well, Bill, there it is. 6212 Iman Avenue.
Yeah, what a run-down-looking rooming house. Let's go in.
Oh, here's his room. Professor LeBlanc, violin teacher.
Yeah.
Professor LeBlanc?
Oui.
We're from the income tax department.
Income tax? Income tax! Gentlemen, look at me. See for yourself. I am barefoot. My clothes are torn.
Professor!
I sleep on a hard spring. I ate the mattress. Income tax!
Professor! Control yourself. Yes, we're here to talk to you about one of your pupils, Mr. Benny.
About Monsieur Benny? Come in. Perhaps I can help you send him to the Bastille.
No, Professor. We just want to find out how much money Mr. Benny spent on his violin.
Money?
Yes. Don't you have any books?
Oui. I have written 3 books about Monsieur Benny, but the publishers would not believe them.
No, we mean records, financial records. We want to know what expenses Mr. Benny's incurred in the upkeep of his violin.
Oh, that I do not know. I just charge him so much for the lesson, and that includes everything.
Oh, well, perhaps we could break that down. How much do you charge him for the lesson?
Well, he is supposed to give me $2. But before every lesson, Monsieur Benny sits me down and explains how he has to make certain deductions out of my salary. So much for withholding, so much for unemployment insurance, and so much for Social Security. Then he further explains that what remains is known as take-home...
Come on, Bill. We've heard this before.
Yes. Thank you, Professor LeBlanc.
You're welcome, gentlemen.
Oh, by the way, Professor, we've never heard Mr. Benny play the violin. How does he sound?
Sound? Well, gentlemen, let me explain. The strings on a violin are made of cat gut, and the violin bow is made from horse hair.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to know how Monsieur Benny violin playing sounds, think of a cat being stepped on by a horse.
Yes, we understand. Well, goodbye, Professor LeBlanc.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Say, Bill.
Yes, Joe?
Why are we going to all this trouble just to help Mr. Benny?
I don't know. There's something about those big blue eyes that gets you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wolfie. The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go out to Jack Benny's house in Beverly Hills. At the moment, our little star is shaving.
My beard feels kind of tough this morning. I wish this was April 1st so I'd put in a new blade. I wonder how I would look with sideburns. Charles Boyer has sideburns. I can just see myself taking a beautiful girl in my arms and saying, like Boyer, my darling, come with me to the cash drawer. I mean, maybe I ought to just shave and forget it. Hey, that must be Mary. I don't know why I want sideburns anyway. That fella on television who calls himself the Continental, he doesn't have them. Boy, is he romantic. That's the type I am. The Continental. Do not be afraid, darling. It is only a man's apartment.
Jackson, open up your baby blues.
Oh, it's you, Phil. Oh, say, Phil, who am I imitating?
Well, do it again.
Do not be afraid, darling. It is only a man's apartment.
Barry Leone.
All right. Look, Phil, I'm in the midst of shaving, so if you want to talk to me, come in the bathroom.
Okay, where's Rochester?
He went to the market. Hey, Phil, what are you doing here so early, anyway?
Alice threw me out of the house.
Again?
It wasn't my fault this time, Jackson. You see,
Just a minute, Phil. Wait a minute. Where's my razor? Oh, here it is. Phil, why did Alice throw you out of the house?
Oh, I don't know. They were having a parent-teachers meeting. You know, all the mothers and teachers were there, and they were deciding to make some sort of an outing for the kids in the 3rd grade. They call it a nature study.
Oh, yes, that's one of those hikes up in the hills.
Well, they should have told me.
Why?
When they said they wanted to study nature, I suggested the Burbank Theater.
A burlesque show? Well, I don't blame her for throwing you out of the house.
Yeah, I don't know why
Phil, I wish you wouldn't stand behind me while I'm shaving.
Why?
Every time I see the reflection of your eyes in the mirror, I think I cut myself.
Okay, I'll move.
Oh, there's somebody at the door.
Oh, I'll get it, Jackson.
Oh, hello, Phil.
Do not be afraid, darling. It's only a man's apartment.
What is that?
I don't know. That's the way they answer the door around here. Hey, come on in, Livy. Jackson will be through in a minute. He's shaving. Hey, look at you. That's a cute little dress you're wearing.
I'm glad you like it, Phil. I knitted it myself.
It sure fits you beautiful. The way it shows off your figure. I mean, it clings so snug around the hips. And hey, wait a minute. You said you made that dress. How come there's a price tag on it?
I put that on myself. I wanted something for Jack to notice, too. Phil, what are you doing over here so early?
Well, they were having a parent-teachers meeting over at the house.
And Alice threw you out.
How'd you know?
I took a wild guess.
Well, I'm all through with my shaving. Oh, hello, Mary. Where did you get that $45 dress?
You see, Phil, I told you.
Told him what?
Nothing.
Hey, Jackson, that's a new suit you're wearing, ain't it?
Yep, and I got a bargain, too. You know, walk up one flight and save $10.
Where'd you buy that one? On top of Old Smoky?
Well, for a fellow who was thrown out of the house this morning, you're certainly... Hello?
Hello, is this Jack Benny?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Benny, my wife and I are having a big argument, and you can help us settle it.
Me?
Yeah, we bought a copy of Look magazine, and your picture's on the cover.
That's right.
How old are you?
39.
39?
Yes.
You win, Mabel. Them wrinkles must be in the paper.
What?
Bye.
Who was it, Jack?
I don't know. Since I had my picture on, look, I've gotten a lot of phone calls.
Yeah, and I know what you go through, Jackson. You're not the only one who's had his picture on the cover of a magazine.
Well, Phil, I've never seen your picture on a cover.
Neither have I.
Well, that's because you kids don't subscribe to the monthly manual of the Amalgamated Society of the City Planning and Construction Engineers.
Phil, your picture's on the cover of the monthly manual of the Amalgamated Society of City Planning and Construction Engineers?
Yeah, and I got a copy of it right here in my pocket. I'll show it to you. See?
Phil, that's a picture of the new freeway.
Yeah, but look who's laying against the curb.
Well, Phil, if that's you, this picture certainly has an appropriate caption. Landmarks of Los Angeles. Yeah. Now, anybody can brag.
Here I am, boss, back from the market.
Oh, good, good.
Hello, Rochester.
Hello, Miss Livingston, Mr. Harris.
Hi, Chester.
Say, boss, before I put all these canned goods in the pantry, do you want to check off the list?
Yes, Rochester, I'll check them off as you put them on the table.
Okay. 2 large cans of.
2 large cans of.
2 small cans of.
2 small cans of.
3 medium cans of.
3 medium cans of.
4 large cans of.
4 large cans of.
Wait a minute. What kind of checking off is that? 2 large cans of, 3 small cans of. Cans of what?
We don't know. When the labels are torn off, you get them cheaper.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Imagine buying canned goods without labels on them.
When we sit down to dinner, it's like a mystery program.
Who done it?
No, what's in it?
Rochester.
One night we had Drano for dessert.
Well, now I've heard everything. Imagine buying canned goods without labels on them. Isn't that silly, Phil?
I wouldn't know. I'm a bottle man myself.
Rochester, just put the things away.
Okay, boss. And I bought you a new pair of woolen mittens like you asked for.
Woolen mittens? What's that for, Jackson?
Well, as soon as I get a chance, I'm going up to Big Bear to do some more skiing. You know, Mary went up with me a few weeks ago.
Well, Jackson, I didn't know you could ski.
Are you kidding? I've been skiing for years. Of course, I haven't got perfect form, you know. In fact, the last time I came down the slide, took off, and sailed through the air, I did flap my arms a little too much.
A little too much. A duck hunter took a shot at you.
Duck hunter.
You'd still be out there if a retriever hadn't brought you back.
Oh, don't be so smart. If we go up in the snow again next week, I'll show you how good the... Come in. Well, Don, Dennis, come on in.
Go ahead, Dennis. You go first.
Oh, no, Don. You go first.
Oh, you go first, Dennis.
No, Don. I'd rather you go first.
Look, fellas.
Dennis, please go first.
No, Don. I insist that you go first.
Oh, for heaven's sake, what's the matter with you guys? Why are you so polite to each other?
We both have 2 shows.
That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Now, come on in.
Boy, does that outfit bring out the curves, the way it clings around the hips.
Oh, you noticed it too, eh, Dennis?
Yeah, Mr. Benny's wearing a new suit.
Well, thank you very much. Now, Dennis, before you get too silly, let me hear the song you're going to do on the program.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Mr. Benny, where'd you get that suit? On top of Old Smoky?
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Phil Harris just said that.
Well, that's funny. At rehearsal, I had the joke. What happened?
I don't know how anything happened. Just sing your song. That was very good, Dennis. Very good. Say, Dennis, your song was so good that if you promise not to annoy me, I got a nice surprise for you.
A surprise?
Yes. Next week, Mary and I may go skiing up in Big Bear, and if you're a good boy, we'll take you with us.
That's right, Dennis.
Gee, up in the snow?
Yeah. Have you ever been up to Big Bear, kid?
Well, I haven't, but a few weeks ago, my mother went up there on a hunting trip.
Did she get anything?
No, but she took a shot at a blue-eyed duck.
Oh, she did, eh?
Yeah, and she couldn't understand it. Her retriever came back with a toupee.
Dennis, that duck your mother thought she was shooting at was me.
Oh.
Hello? Who's calling? Sam's Supermarket? He did? Oh, well, thanks very much. Oh, Rochester.
You call me, boss?
Yes, the clerk at the market called and said that when you were there, you left 1 large can of on the counter.
Shall I go get it?
Well, certainly. It might be something we like.
Okay.
Now, Don, what is this clever idea that you...
Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
We're going to have to get a puppy.
Why?
The last can I opened up was ideal dog food.
Dog food?
This time I found out before I put the poached egg on it.
Well, good.
Last Thursday evening, Jack picked me up at my house. We drove down to Hollywood, parked the car, and we were walking to the pantry.
You know, Mary, I should have had Rochester drop us off at the theater before we parked the car.
Oh, it's only a short walk, Jack, and besides, I want to talk to you.
What about?
Well, you've been taking me to the Academy Awards for many years now, and tonight, when you go up to congratulate the winning actor, do me a favor.
What?
Just shake his hand. Don't say, lucky for you, I didn't make a picture this year.
When did I ever say that?
You started with William S. Hart.
I did not.
Say, Jack, I want to step into this drugstore and get some cough drops. Have we got time?
Oh, sure.
Well, let's see. Where's the drug counter?
Right over there. Don't hurry, Mary. We have plenty of time.
Hiya, Bud. Long time no see.
Huh? Oh, hello. Come on, Mary.
Jack, wasn't
Yes, that tout from Santa Anita. I always run into him. Say, Mary, they have a fountain here. I think I'll get a cup of coffee. Would you like some?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. When you say I beg your pardon, then I'll come back to you.
Bud. Bud.
Huh?
Come here a minute.
Who, me?
Yeah. Where you going?
Over to the fountain.
What are you going to get?
Coffee. What?
Get milk.
But I want coffee.
Coffee hasn't got a chance.
Why not?
Wet grounds.
Oh. Well, I don't care. I'm going to get coffee.
Now, don't be a sucker. Take milk.
Why milk?
Look at the breeding.
The breeding?
Yeah. Milk is on a cow by squeeze.
I don't care. I don't want milk.
Oh. Look, Bud, if you don't let it get around, I got something really good.
What?
Ovaltine.
Why Ovaltine?
It's a sleeper.
Well, maybe I'll... Hey, wait a minute. I know what I'm going to get.
What?
Come here a minute.
Who, me?
Yeah. I'm going to get tea.
Why tea?
Because tea is in the bag.
Well, okay, it's your dough. So long.
So long. What a guy. Why must I always run into...
Okay, Jack, I'm ready if you are.
Fine, Mary, let's go.
Did you enjoy your coffee?
I didn't have any.
Why not?
I didn't like the odds.
Jack! What are you talking about?
I don't know. Come on, Mary, here's the theater.
Gee, the lobby's crowded.
Yeah, everybody in pictures seems to be here. Boy, these Academy Awards are really something. Look who's here. Danny Kaye, Betty Davis, Marlon Brando. And there's Irene Dunn and Joan Crawford, Arthur Kennedy, Gene Autry. Gosh, everybody is.
Look, Jack, there's a radio commentator doing a broadcast right in the middle of the lobby. Let's go over and listen.
Oh, yeah.
And so tonight, everybody who is anybody in Hollywood is gathered here for the annual Academy Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall do my best to bring you some of these celebrities. Oh, here come some famous actors walking by. I'll see if I can get them to say a few words. Mr. Jimmy Cagney, would you please say a few words over the air?
I'm very happy to be here tonight, and I'm sure this is going to be another great occasion.
Thank you, Mr. Cagney.
Gee, Mary, remember Cagney and Yankee Doodle Dandy?
Yeah.
And now coming up to the microphone is Mr. Lionel Barrymore.
This is really a great night for Hollywood, and I know that the ones who win the awards will deserve.
Thank you, Mr. Barrymore.
Gee, he's a great actor.
And here we have Mr. Edward G. Robinson. Hey, Mr. Robinson, would you say a few words?
Sure. I'm very happy to be here tonight, see? And I'm here to see these actors get a fair shake, see? And don't forget it.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Hey, he's tough, isn't he?
And now Mr. Gary Cooper.
Yep.
Gee, Mary, I had no idea that Gary Cooper was that tall.
Neither did I.
And he's so distinguished. Look how gray his hair is.
Jack, that's snow.
Oh, he really is tall, isn't he?
Ah, ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed fortunate. Coming up to the microphone is one of the candidates for the Best Acting Honors, Mr. Humphrey Bogart, nominated for his splendid performance in African Queen. Tell me, Mr. Bogart, do you think there's any chance of your not winning the award tonight? Ooh, I only asked.
Well, how do you like that? Say, Mary, I wonder if he's going to interview me, too.
Quiet, Jack. Jimmy Stewart is walking up to the microphone.
Jimmy Stewart?
Mr. Stewart, would you please say a few words to the radio audience? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Stewart.
Oh, well, yes, I'm very happy to be here tonight.
Mr. Stewart, before you go, I'd like to ask a few personal questions. Didn't you recently have twin girls?
Well, yes, I did. That is, my wife did. Yeah. They're the cutest things, but so confusing.
What do you mean confusing?
Well, last week I bought them a little horse, and they take turns riding it. And it's kind of hard for me to tell which twin has the pony.
Ooh, what an awful joke.
Well, you better think of a better one. The announcer's motioning to you.
Oh, yes. Come on, Mary.
Oh, Jack, wait for me.
Take my hand, Mary.
Well, Jack Benny!
Yes, yes.
How do you do, Miss Livingston?
Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Well, thank you.
You've been coming to these Academy Awards for a long time, haven't you, Mr. Benny?
Yes, I certainly have.
Well, tell me, Mr. Benny, what are your future picture plans?
Well...
He expects to see Quo Vadis tomorrow night.
Mary, please, this is an interview.
Mr. Benny, the last picture you made was a Western called The Horn Blows at Midnight, wasn't it?
A Western?
Yes, I was at the preview and I remember hearing gunshots.
That was the Warner Brothers.
Fortunately, they missed each other.
Now, Mr. Benny, would you care to make any predictions as to who will win the Oscars here tonight?
No, there's so many wonderful actors and actresses up for them, but in the musical awards, if the song I wrote...
Thank you, Mr. Benny.
What a song. When you say
Mr. Benny, get away from the microphone.
Then I'll come back to you.
Mr. Benny.
When you ask me to forgive you,
Mr.
I'll
Benny.
return.
Mr.
Like
Benny.
the swallows at Serrano.
Mr. Benny, get away from this microphone.
Stop pushing. For you, my heart will
Benny,
always,
get away from this
always
microphone or I'll punch you right in the nose.
Take your hands off of me.
Now get away.
Cut that out. Now, what are you doing?
I told you to get away from here.
I don't care what you told me.
Jack, come on!
Okay.
Oh, there he is, girls. There he is. Mr. Brando. Mr. Brando, may we have your autograph?
I'm not Marlon Brando. The announcer just ripped my shirt. Come on, Mary, let's go in. Gee, Mary, it was certainly exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Arthur Freed winning the Irving Thalberg Award and Johnny Green for the music. George Stevens for directing Place in the Sun.
And Vivian Leigh for the best actress.
Yeah, and Kim Hunter and Carl Malden for the best supporting roles, and...
Oh, Jack, there's Humphrey Bogart. Go over and congratulate him for winning the Oscar for his performance in African Queen.
Oh, yes. Wait here, Mary. Say, Bogey, congratulations. And lucky for you, I didn't make a picture this year. Ouch!
Jack, who slapped you?
Lauren Bacall. If I want her, I can whistle. 2 of my teeth are missing. Good night, folks.
The Lucky Strike program. program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Naval Training Center in San Diego, we bring you a man who was so proud of his career in the Navy, he had an anchor tattooed on the sleeve of his underwear, Jack Benny!
Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking. And Don, you can joke about my career in the Navy if you want to, but I was a great seaman. In fact, I was the only sailor aboard who could be depended upon to batten down the hutches. I remember
Wait a minute, Jack.
Huh?
You mean you battened down the hatches?
No, down the hutches. Things were so quiet, our admiral was raising rabbits. He had hundreds of them.
Jack, I meant to ask you something. When you went into the service, how come you decided to join the Navy?
Well, it was family tradition, Don. You see, my grandfather, Lieutenant Commander Hopalong Benny, was in the Navy. And,
Hopalong Benny?
Yes, he was the only man to ride a torpedo side saddle. Poor fella. He never should have dug his spurs into it. He joined the Navy and the world saw him. Anyway, Don. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Oh, boy. Am I winded.
Mary, what's the matter with you? Why are you so out of breath?
Well, I just came over here from the Navy Exchange.
The Navy Exchange? Well, that's just a short walk from here.
I know, but it's a fast run with 150 sailors chasing me.
I mean, don't be silly, Mary. Sailors don't chase after girls. That's what it says right here. Sailors don't chase after girls.
They don't, eh?
No.
Tin squins are large butterfly nets, part of their equipment.
Look, Mary, you got nothing to worry about. The boys here are a nice bunch of fellas.
Oh, I know they are, Jack. And did you notice how young they all are?
Yes, but then when I was in the Navy, I was young.
So was the Navy.
All right. Anyway, Mary, you should have been here a few minutes ago. I was telling Don about my career as a sailor during the First World War.
Some career.
What?
You joined the Navy, went to sleep, fell out of your hammock, bumped your head, and when you came to, the war was over.
Oh, yeah? If all I did in the Navy was bump my head, why did they give me that ribbon?
That was a Band-Aid, and you know it.
Look, Mary, you know it, and I know it, but you have to tell everybody? I mean, why can't you just once... Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
I'm Chief Petty Officer Jones.
Oh, how do you do?
My job is to see that you're well taken care of during your visit here. Now, is there anything special you would like for dinner?
Well, let me see.
Could you hurry it up, Mr. Benny? I've got to go around and ask all the sailors what they'd like to eat.
Oh, I see. Well, what do the boys stationed here usually have?
Oh, some of them order crepe Suzettes.
Uh-huh.
And others prefer filet mignon sauté with a wine sauce.
I see.
And then there are those who are partial to baked pheasant under glass.
See, is that the kind of food the enlisted men in the Navy get?
No, but as long as we're on the air, let's do a little recruiting.
Oh, yes.
Well, goodbye now.
Goodbye. You know, Mary, this fella has the right idea.
Well, Jack, I had lunch at the mess hall today, and the food is excellent.
I know.
Oh, say, Jack, we're going back to Los Angeles tomorrow night, aren't we?
No, Don, I've changed my mind. We'll be here on the base till Wednesday.
Why?
Because Tuesday is payday.
Well, look, what's the sailor's payday got to do with Jack?
He's got a jukebox and a keg of draft beer in the back of his car.
Mary,
He flips the light place over and it says Benny's Canteen.
Well, you're a fine one to talk. You're getting 10 cents a dance. So don't be so... Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Dennis, you missed rehearsal today.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I just got to San Diego a few minutes ago.
Wait a minute. You just got to San Diego a few minutes ago? But I thought you left Los Angeles last Thursday.
I did.
Well, what took you so long?
I ran into a lot of traffic in Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City?
Dennis, why in the world would you go from Los Angeles...
Mary, take my advice. Don't ask her. Just drop the subject.
But, Jack, maybe he had very important business in Salt Lake City.
Huh?
Or maybe a relative was sick or something.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Dennis, when you were coming down to San Diego, why did you come by way of Salt Lake City?
I wanted to avoid the traffic lights in Laguna Beach.
Mary, you made me ask him. You made me ask him.
Dennis, you better sing your song.
I'll say you better. Avoid the traffic lights in Laguna Beach. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. That was I Hear a Rhapsody sung by Dennis Day. And Dennis, I want to tell you that regardless of the silly things you do, I must say you have one of the finest voices in radio.
Gee, I hope my mother heard you say that.
Why?
She thinks you're a louse. Anyway, Mr. Benny, I don't care what my mother says. I like you.
Well, thanks. And now, fellas...
You've always been okay with me.
Well, thanks, kid, thanks. And now, fellas...
You know, Mr. Benny, sometimes I wish you were my father.
You do?
So does my father.
Look, kid, I only try to tell you had a nice voice. I don't want a whole routine out of you. You know, you can't say...
All right, fellas, you can stand up and cheer. This show will roll now, because Harris is here.
Say, Phil, you really got a reception on that entrance.
Yeah, would you believe it, Jackson? The last time I made an entrance like that, the people just sat there and stared at me.
When was that?
This morning when I got on the La Jolla bus.
Well, imagine getting on a bus and going into your act.
Well, what's wrong with that? Last week you stood on the dock playing your fiddle when the Essex came in.
Well, it was my patriotic duty, and the boys all cheered me.
Well, they should. Who else could play Anchors Away and dive for pennies at the same time?
Oh, Phil, stop exaggerating.
He's not exaggerating. I saw you swing around in the water.
Then why didn't you speak to me?
With those bifocals, I thought you were a halibut.
Halibut.
What's your language?
Oh, be quiet. You know, Phil, you'd be much better off if you didn't pay so much attention to me and devoted more time to the boys in your band.
There you go in my band again.
Certainly. We came down here to play the Naval Training Center. At least your boys could look decent.
Now, wait a minute, Jackson. They can't afford to buy new clothes.
Well, at least swab them down. Swab them down. Look at Remley sitting there.
Hold it. Just hold it a minute, Jackson. Don't say nothing about Remley. Today of all days.
Why not?
Well, yesterday, Frankie's favorite uncle died.
Oh, that's too bad. Was it unexpected?
No, the judge told him exactly when it was going to happen.
Look, Phil, I don't want to have any more nonsense. We have a very important sketch to do tonight, and I want to get started with it. Don, will you announce our play? Oh, there's the phone. Excuse me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester. What did you call me for?
Well, I'm over here in your room at the El Cortez Hotel, and I think you're in trouble with the manager.
Mr. Stillings, why? What happened?
He got a little upset when he found out you rented your other twin bed.
Oh.
Then he got aggravated when he found out you were doing laundry in the bathtub.
Gee.
Then he got red in the face when he found out you were running highlight games in the hall.
God.
And when he found out you opened the gee-dunk bar in the kitchen, he went to pieces.
Oh, that's awful. How are things in my living room?
Not so good. One of your barbers just quit.
Oh, we'll have one of my writers take over his chair.
Yes, sir. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
Don't hang up yet.
Why?
I just looked at your radar screen.
What about it?
Get your fiddle ready. There's another ship coming in.
Thanks, Rochester. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for all the boys stationed here at the San Diego Naval Training Center, we're going to do a sketch. Set the scene, Don.
Okay, Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on any radio program, we're going to present a biography based on Jack Benny's actual experiences in the Navy during World War I. Music.
In the year 1917, I enlisted in the Navy. Before I left home, I spent the last few hours with my family and friends. Then I went next door to say goodbye to my sweetheart. This only took me 10 seconds. I wasn't a sailor yet. When I arrived at the Great Lakes Naval Training Center, I was examined by one of the Navy doctors.
Your name?
Jack Benny.
Birthplace?
Waukegan, Illinois.
Age?
16.
16?
Yes, sir.
But you've got gray hair.
Oh, darn it, I put on the wrong one this morning. I'll be a blonde tomorrow.
Your height?
5'10".
Your weight?
145.
Color of eyes? Oh, they're blue, aren't they?
Bluer than a sailor on his first night in boot camp. Now, Doctor, you've got my records here, so tell me, do I get in the Navy or don't I?
Well, son, I'm sorry, but I have to report some bad news.
For me?
No, for the Navy. You're in.
And so I was in the Navy. I became a part of Uncle Sam's fighting forces. The next thing I did was to report to the supply depot to get my uniform. When it came my turn, the sailor in charge looked at me and said,
"Well, how did you come to join the Navy?"
What did you say?
I said, how did you come to join the Navy?
Well, I've always been the adventurous type. I love to travel. I love travel, romance, foreign countries. And then I saw one of those signs saying, join the Navy and see the world.
Isn't that a coincidence? That's the reason I joined the Navy 18 years ago.
And have you visited any distant lands?
Yes, twice I've been to Tijuana.
Well, lucky you.
Now, here's your uniform.
Hey, just a second. You don't know my measurements. I take size 34, please.
Really?
Yes, I have a 33 waist.
Uh-huh.
29 pants leg.
Uh-huh.
And 32 and a half sleeve length on the jacket.
I'm glad you told me. Would you like your uniform in any particular color?
Well, yes. Would you happen to have something in blue? What?
Now take this and keep moving.
Wait a minute. Where do I put on my uniform?
Right here as you're walking along.
As I'm walking along, what about my old clothes?
Just drop them. We have chambermaids who come along and pick them up.
Oh.
Come on, then. Change into your uniforms, all of you.
There, I've almost got mine on.
Good.
Would you mind buttoning me up?
That goes in front.
I'm sorry.
San Diego Naval Training Center. After putting in 6 long, hard weeks in boot camp, I was given my first leave. I was tired and run down and wanted a rest. So I went to Sherman's. I went there with my friend, Curly Harris.
Oh, bartender.
Yeah?
I'll have a lemonade.
A lemonade?
Yes.
I'll have a tequila.
Say, Curly, that's a Mexican drink, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's your tequila. Thanks. Well, here's looking at you. Smooth all the way down.
After 2 hours at Sherman's, I stepped over Curly and went back to the base. On my way back, I got lost. Realizing I needed help, I looked around till I finally found an ensign. I walked over to the ensign and said,
Excuse me, sir, but how far is it to the San Diego Naval Training Center?
I don't know.
Well, am I walking in the right direction?
I don't know.
Well, for heaven's sake, where is the Naval Training Center?
I didn't know.
You don't know anything. A fine sailor you are.
I'm not a sailor.
Then how come you're wearing that blue uniform?
What uniform? I lost my clothes in the crap game and I'm cold.
Since I couldn't find my way back, I decided to stay away and enjoy myself. But a week later, I was back at the base, and because of the things I had done, I found myself up before the Admiral, facing a court-martial. The Admiral looked at me sternly and said,
Were you AWOL for a full week?
Yes, sir.
And didn't you get into a fight with 2 shore patrolmen?
Yes, sir.
And when they tried to take you to the brig, didn't you bang their heads together and knock them out?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that was nice?
No, sir.
Well, watch it next time.
The Admiral let me go with no more punishment than a stern look. The next day I was walking down the street when all of a sudden a girl said to me,
Oh, sailor,
Yes?
did you drop this handkerchief?
It worked. I now had a girlfriend. We went together steadily for 6 months. Then one night I said to her,
Honey,
Yes, Max.
pucker up. I'm going to kiss you.
Okay.
There. Have you ever been kissed like that before?
Yes, I have a mother.
My romance with this beautiful girl was short-lived because 2 days later I completed my training and went aboard my ship. What a thrill as we prepared to sail. Finally, we sailed. We were underway for just 5 minutes when suddenly I began to feel terrible. I rushed to the doctor and said,
Doctor, I feel terrible. I'm sick. My head is going around. I'm dizzy. My stomach is upset. I feel awful.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations? Why?
You're the first sailor who ever got seasick on the Coronado Ferry.
That is my story. He gave me 2 APC pills. He told me to go to my hammock. I went to sleep, fell out, bumped my head, and when I came to, the war was over. Thus ended my naval career.
The Jack Benny program is written by Sam Perrin, Milt Josephsberg, George Balzer, John Tackerberry, and produced and transcribed by Hilliard Mark.